What up? How's everyone doing? What's up, Brandy, Brandon?
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's cool because I'm looking in the room. I met Anastasia at the party, which was so awesome.
Hi.
You know?
And you and Wes and Luther. It's so crazy.
Now you know the names. The names you know, now you know.
What up?
What's up, Wes?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am
How's
great.
your day?
Good.
Amazing.
The day is amazing. It's another beautiful sunny day here in Denver, and I'm actually on my way home right now. So, uh, in like 5 minutes, I'll have to jump out and then jump back in after like a 5 minute delay, and we'll be all good.
Wow, well, we'll all plan our schedules according to your jumping out and jumping back in. You know what? Everyone, please take note. There's going to be a little bit of a 5 minute gap where we're going to have
Good
to
to be.
adjust. Yeah.
I can set up a new link if that's
Yeah,
easier.
maybe set up a new link and also let's send an email. You know what? Don't even send an email out. Let's individually message every person from the Nomad community and let them know that Wes has a thing that he's got to deal with.
I just sent them, so we're good.
All right, cool. All right, and real quick, what's up to Mike, who I met at the party? Mike, I remember our conversation on the mezzanine where we were kind of, looking out at the gallery and had a really good conversation. So it was really, really great to meet you. 3Min X, oh my gosh, I almost got emotional meeting you and Manu. That was seriously, those were some of the highlights of my night for sure. Jesse Doyle, literally, like as he was walking in, I was just like, "You're Jesse Doyle." Like I just knew it was him immediately. Um, ah, had such a good time. Such a good time. All right, so what I want to do because I know Parn's going to join us in a bit. A little bit later, we're going to have one or two guests from Nifty Gateway join us. We're going to be talking with Wes. What I want to do tonight is do a party recap. So, for those of you who were there, for those of you who weren't there, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to do a party recap. And then, after we kind of get rocking and talk about last Thursday, we're going to talk a little bit about the whole Nifty Gateway partnership, the whole Nomad Boulevard Artist Series, why we're doing it, what we think it's going to accomplish. Hopefully, some people from the Nifty side are going to speak to us a little bit about the drop mechanics. And we'll get into it. And I see we have Par in here. So I'm going to ask everyone to please share this room. Let's make sure. What's going on, Par, and how are you?
Hello, I'm great. Thank you. How are you? It's like 4 in the morning, so if I have a bit of a sleepy voice, I'm so sorry. How are you?
Thank you. You just always work around our schedule for these types of things. We really appreciate it. And I remember there was a while there where we were doing Twitter Spaces instead of like 90 minutes, we were doing them for like 7 hours. And so we'd catch you just as you were like waking up, and now it's just all over the place.
Of course, I would never miss, Nomad Boulevard rooms. Of course.
So, Parin, we haven't even had a chance to talk yet, the two of us, or I guess us as a group and in community, about what the hell happened with OpenSea and what that must have been like and how that's changed your view on the whole space. I mean, there's so much that I want to talk to you about. So just know that that's coming. And in the meantime, again, if everyone can just click that blue plus button in the bottom right hand corner, share the space. I'm just going to say we are talking with Wes and Parin. All right, cool. I see Mufasa just came in the room as well. Like meeting Mufasa in person was so cool. Um, it's not like I expected Mufasa to be, I wasn't expecting him to be small or short, right? Like I'm not, imagining what people look like in these spaces, but I wasn't expecting Mufasa to be this. Have you ever seen the movie Moana? It's a Disney movie. Like there was just some Maui vibes coming in. Like he just was like it was just amazing. And he saw me see him see me have this reaction that was just like, oh my God, you are larger than life. So it was just great. Um, so by the way, 3 Min X, Mufasa, Luther, anyone who wants to come up on stage tonight, the way that I just want to do this now is request to come up here. If you want to hang out with us or you have something to say or you have a question to come up here. Worst case scenario, I pull you back down if we need more room on stage. But um, yeah, feel free to join us. And yeah, let's get into a little bit. So weirdly, Thursday night was the first time that I met Brandy and Brandon in person, which is bizarre because we speak every day. We've been working together, all the way through Nomad. We've been through the ups and downs. Here we are, many, many months later. Meeting them for the first time was just wild. What'd you think about the party?
It was so wild, Danny. It was so weird. Like we've seen each other, but just to kind of like piggyback, when I'm sure like most of you saw me in line. This is Brandy, and when I heard Mufasa say, "Oh, I'm Mufasa," I was like, or actually he said, "I'm Mustafa." I was like, Mufasa! I was so excited. So it was awesome. And same with Jesse Doyle. Like as soon as I saw him, I'm like, "Hey, Jesse." He was kind of like, "How do you know me?" But also very welcoming. So it was so awesome. It was such a wild ride to like meet everyone in person and put a face to the name. And like you said, like we talk every day, but we see like from the head up. So it's like it was just weird to be like, oh wow, you're like a real person and you're not like a Zoom video link. And then just meeting everyone like Mr. Melty and Taylor and Luther and Allie. And I mean, it was just Wes, Gavin, Claire. I mean, it was so freaking cool. What was really cool was that at 7 o'clock, when the party officially started, there was a line down the block, like at 7 p.m. So super awesome. Huge shout out to everyone that came. We're so thankful and grateful, and it was just such an intimate, huge gathering, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense to me. Obviously, I my mom was there, and also some of my parents' friends were there. Some of my cousins were there. Like I had a lot of people from like my inner circle that were kind of observing and watching the whole thing. And the thing that they were the most blown away with was how like real and authentic and loving all of the connections were. Like someone would walk in and I would say hi to someone and give them a hug and be like, oh my God, this is crazy. How are you? And it didn't quite make sense to them that we were just meeting in person for the first time. And yet there was a real kind of relationship there. And you just can't make that shit up. I'm sorry, you can't. Like, Parin is a perfect example. I know that when we meet in person, you know, it's not going to feel like our first friend date. You know what I mean? Like that, like this is already real. And I'm the like if you went back 10 years, 20 years ago, I was like anti Facebook, never went on Instagram. The idea of kind of, developing or, having a relationship not in the flesh, that like even on the phone, I would never want to speak on the phone. But I think we've all just evolved a lot, and just so cool meeting people in person. I'm going to add someone else up here too.
Danny, I also want to add, it was so fun because, I'm talking to people, meeting people, thanking them for coming. And a lot of people traveled to LA that didn't even live in LA to come to the event, which was so awesome. But so many people were like, wait, Brandy, is Hero actually here? Or is Gavin here? Like, is Isabelle really here? And I got asked if I was Isabelle, which I was like such a huge compliment. But it was just so cool to be like, yes, they're in there. They're all here, like real people. And we all got to like hang out and just really create that bond. It was so awesome.
Yeah, 3 Min X, flew out. Who is Matt flew out. Mike drove down. I mean, there
Jesse,
were
yeah.
who else?
Jesse came down or flew down. Manu, uh,
Luther, Wes, Gavin. I mean, there were a lot of people that came out
Melty.
for it.
Yeah, super cool.
And we also we had 300 wristbands. So once you like got to the door, you checked in, we would give you a wristband so that you could, we had food there and drinks, whatever. And we went through all 300 wristbands, and people were still showing up, and we were writing people, we were writing that stuff in on a clipboard. So I think we counted 350. Is that right, or 350 plus?
Yep, that's right. It was crazy. The doorman's like, "We need more wristbands." I'm like, "You're kidding me." It was, and it just didn't feel like I don't know how to explain it, but being there, we're talking to everyone. Everyone was so friendly and excited to be there. It didn't feel like that many people. Does that make sense? Like it didn't. It felt so intimate. It was so great.
What would you have done differently if you could have, like, what should we have done differently if we could have done it all over again?
I mean, I would have like had to go for 5 more hours so I could have talked to everyone multiple times, and just keep going. Also, I'd like to mention that I don't know if you have the exact number, but so many people got tattoos also, which was incredible and so I mean just mind blowing. But yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
was so cool. I wanted to spend more time with everyone and seeing everyone's pictures in LA, and just the merch was such a hit. I mean, it was just so cool to see people so excited about the project and the brand and the artists, and it was just awesome.
I think the tattoo artist did about 20 tattoos, and from literally 7 or 7:30 all the way through to midnight, she was there giving tattoos. So yeah, there were some amazing ones. People got roses, some people got LA, some people got some custom stuff. And it was cool because the bar was set up in the room right next to this little area that kind of looked like a tattoo parlor. It had its own lighting, and it had like these doors that were kind of installed in the middle of the room. It's hard to explain. If you look at the photos that have been going around, you'll know what we're talking about. Um, but it was cool. You could wait for a drink, see people getting tattooed, see where your name was coming up in line. We had a photo booth. I didn't even see the photo booth once. I mean, I saw them setting it up, but I didn't get my photo taken. I totally missed that. The way that this studio was set up, it was it's like it's an art studio where it's like two rooms, and it's connected with these two mezzanines. So regardless of what room you could go into, you could go up the stairs, go to the second story, which was a mezzanine with like this open balcony, and you could get from one room to another. And it was also connected by this hallway that brought you down the hallway to where we had the food truck set up. Um, and we finally got the lighting right in the hallway, so it kind of didn't matter where you were, there was something going on. Um, I've definitely not been to an event like that before. And I also pulled Keith up on stage. So Keith is one of the founders of Party Animals. He's family to Nomad Boulevard, an incredible photographer, been in the NFT space, since very early on. And Keith, I haven't checked yet to see how many people um, claim their POAP, but we actually did a POAP with Party Animals for our launch party, which looks amazing. So I think there's still some time to get that if you haven't already gotten it. Keith, what's going on? Did you have a good time at the party?
Yo, 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 what's good? Can you hear me on this
We can hear
headset?
you perfectly.
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad I caught you guys. It was a great event. Honestly, I think the Nomad team, Dan, Brandy, like all of you guys that put this together, it was such a huge success. Everyone was just having such a blast and a really good time. I think kudos to you. Yeah, it was really good. The first 35 minutes, I was just stuck in front of the food truck and I was being fed, and it was just like a bunch of saying hello and being reacquainted with a bunch of people from the space. So it was like, yeah, I need to go see the team and see what's happening. But all the party animals that attended and joined us was really happy, and it was just a very successful evening. And I think congratulations to you and the team. Um,
Really,
yeah.
really appreciate it. And also, it's funny because obviously Party Animals, the acronym PASS is Party Animals Speakeasy Society. For those of you who don't know what a speakeasy is, it's kind of one of those secret little bars that isn't open to the public. You have to know someone or you have to find a way in. And so in this big kind of space with all of these different, rooms and stairwells and hallways, if you go all the way back, we set up the food truck so that we kind of opened this garage. The food truck kind of became part of the party. And then just off to the right of the food truck, there was like this little tiny hidden outdoor area. And all of the party animals, that came through past were kind of hanging out there in that little tiny corner, which was just so speakeasy of them to do that. And I looked over and I'm like, really, guys? Like, this is where, like, you've just gravitated towards like the little speakeasy component of this party. And sure enough, they were all there. And you know where else they were? They were also at the party at after 12, once everyone had left, still going. So they are who they claim to be. That's all I'll say.
I mean, if you're gonna host a party, we'll be there. It's definitely, man, it was just so much fun. There's a lot of footage. I've been on the computer most of the day today, just kind of looking at the footage and also a lot of the stills and stuff. So we'll be sharing that to you and your community and also within the past community in the next following coming days. And yeah, I can't wait for the next one. So I'd be interested to see what's happening in NFTLA.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's talk tomorrow. I had a couple of conversations about it today. Let's talk tomorrow and figure something out, and decide whether or not we want to do a Nomad pass, or if we want to do an event. Do we want to do an after? Like, let's come up with something. I think it makes sense. We're both LA, LA centric. I want to do something, so I'll call you tomorrow for sure, Keith. And yeah, I see that Manu has joined us as well. Manu is so great to meet you. I was telling the room before you joined that, meeting you and 3Min X, you were like, hey, like, I'm on it. I like was floored. I'm still talking about it many days, several days later. So, anyway, we'll do a few more highlights for the party. I just want to kind of cover all of it. But the other thing that we're doing tonight is talking about a Nomad Boulevard artist series drop on on Nifty Gateway. So normally on Nifty Gateway, either individual artists or individual projects, they apply to be on Nifty Gateway on either their curated drop platform, verified drop platform, and I know they're building out kind of a marketplace ecosystem as well. And obviously, Nifty Gateway has been a major name and a major platform. It was the first major drop platform I heard about a year ago, and it's very difficult to get it. They have thousands of applications that come in every week, every month, and they're only able to kind of bring so many, curate so many people to get on there just because of the demand. And so the partnership that we worked out between Nomad Boulevard and Nifty Gateway was, look, we have, including Isabelle, 16 featured artists that really have helped to make this project what it is. There's real representation in this group of artists, all different types of styles and voices and experiences and varying degrees of success in the space. Why don't we do a Nomad Boulevard artist series where each of these 16 artists gets a drop on Nifty Gateway through the course of 2022? And Matthew Farrick, who is the lead curator and lead producer for Nifty Gateway, we had several conversations. He loved the idea, checked out all of the featured artists and the project, and we worked it out. So the main reason why I'm excited about this is because it's just a really tangible example about what Nomad Boulevard intends to do for our community, right? We want to continue to be advocates for artists in the space. We want to be a place where people can network other people, other artists, other collectors and NFT enthusiasts, and feel like you've got a place to bounce ideas off of each other. And we also want to be a place that helps you get your work seen and get your brand noticed and all of that. So this is a really tangible example that I think explains what Nomad Boulevard can do. So instead of the power of one, the power of many, and also nifty fucking gateway. I mean, a year ago, this was like the be all end all platform, and while the market has expanded, and you don't drop on Nifty Gateway and make $5 billion in 5 seconds, that doesn't take away from the prestige and how difficult it is to get on this platform. There are two different drop sections. So one is and hopefully we'll talk about this a little bit later with someone from Nifty Gateway, but one is the curated drop platform, which is the one that most people are familiar with. It's the drop platform where some of the biggest names in art have done their drops. And then they've also recently created a verified drop platform. And essentially verified. So the curated platform, I think there's only one a day or a few a week, and the calendar is booked out through to August or September of this year already. And then the verified drop platform, which is where we're going to be doing our drops, still has a very small percentage of acceptance, but it is they're trying to open it up a little bit more. So when Nifty gets on the call later, we'll have them explain the differences and how it works. Wes and Parin are the two artists that we selected to kind of be our first artist representing Nomad Boulevard. And it has nothing to do with the fact that Wes and I have been best friends for 20 years. That literally has nothing to do with it. So for those of you who are like, yeah, of course they picked Wes, you know what? Shame on you, because I would never. In fact, you know what? I didn't even want Wes to be a part of the project. So it should tell you that it's completely coincidental. No, I didn't. No, seriously, I didn't want you to be a part of the project because of your, personality, art style, technique. You're just. It just was lucky that you got in. So we picked Wes because, part of this is a learning experience, and Wes and myself, and also Wes and the Nomad team, we've been learning about this space together for so long that it made sense to kind of bring our partner in crime into this with us. Part of this is trial and error. Part of this, we don't know how it's going to go. So, wanted to make sure that, we continue to kind of test new waters with Wes. And obviously, Parin is one of the most talented artists in the space. She's a huge voice and advocate for artists and for people in the NFT space. And we felt like the two of them together would, really represent Nomad Boulevard, represent all of the artists, and that, they're amazing people. So anyway, Wes and Parin, we're going to talk to them in a bit and talk to them a little bit about the pieces they've chosen and, what they think about this and all of that. What we're going to do is, so each month, so in April, May, for the rest of the year, there's either going to be one or two artists that we're going to select. If there's an artist that doesn't want to do this from our 16, we totally understand. It's optional. We're assuming that most artists are going to want to take advantage of this. And there's going to be kind of a new announcement each month about which ones go next. We'll have a space dedicated to it. And hopefully as a community, we can rally around these artists and really figure out, how this works. So assuming that this goes well and that this is successful, we're already in contact with Known Origin. And we're going to be reaching out to a couple of the other platforms. I've been in touch with an agency that's representing Coinbase. We want to continue to do more of these artist series drops on these other platforms curated by Nomad Boulevard. And so in addition to the 15 featured artists, there's going to be an opportunity for other artists in our community to get involved. I will probably be talking about this a little bit more in the next week or so, but we are building a member portal. This member portal will be token gated, so only Nomad Boulevard token holders will be able to access it. There will be a profile, there will be information and access to, there will be information about past events and information and access to future events. You'll be able to claim your POAPs here. There's going to be an alpha section. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we build into this. And it's basically a way for us to have a private members only experience for Nomad members. Waterboy, who's in the audience, who I'm not going to bring on stage just because his underwhelming energy. He's been working very hard on this in particular, so we're excited for that. Let's see, what else do I have in this crazy little rant of mine? Oh yeah, I know I kind of do this at some point only because there's so many of these things, but um, got some huge news last week. Um, it will be confirmed very soon, and we'll be every single person in this room and everyone in the Nomad Boulevard community individually to let them know when this thing gets across the line. Um, but we have got stuff coming. The momentum slowed down a little bit after we sold out the project because how could it not? Like there was no way in hell we were doing 29-hour Twitter spaces without eating and that wasn't happening. But um, we're back in and we've got some big plans for this year. I'm excited, obviously, and super low key and mellow right now. Like, not taking it too seriously and just being really mellow about it. So on that note, before we get into talking with Parn and Wes, is there anyone that was at the party that I have not mentioned that wants to come up and say hello? Mufasa, I know you're up on stage. 3Min X, Manu, Mike. If anyone wants to come up on stage and just kind of let the rest of the group know, your favorite part about the party or how it was a complete nightmare or whatever. Let's kind of talk a few more minutes about the party and then we'll get into Nifty Gateway. So why don't we start with Mufasa and Jesse Doyle, because we heard from Keith. Gents, what did you think? How was? I guess my first question is, how was the party compared to what you were expecting?
Oh man, what's up, everyone? Hey, Mufasa, do you want to go? I saw your thing.
No, bro, all you, man. All you, go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, man, that was I mean, I'm still buzzing off of it. That was a night to remember for sure. I've traveled a lot, gone to a lot of parties, a lot of diplomatic events and stuff around like embassy communities, and it was just nothing like I've ever experienced. On top of that, Jim Budman's studio had 3 or 4 artists working there that probably most people just would walk by, that I was just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So me and Jim really hit it off, and that was like the cherry on top to that whole creative excursion, but right from the door all the way through, 5 hours felt like 2 minutes, and man, it was a whirlwind. Sorry if I didn't say hi to everybody that was there. It was a pretty cool night though. I was granted to meet an amazing photographer, Fernando. He's down at the bottom on the list here. He was at the pod share I was at, and invited him out because it was a +1, and he ended up getting so much amazing video and still content from the entire night, from so many people meeting and hugging for the first time. It's I can't wait to share those edited pieces with you. We're gonna also have I'm not sure of the length, but there's going to be a vlog from start to finish from the whole event. So that's going to be a really cool content piece to share with you all. Other than that, before I forget, when I was at the party and I was looking at everyone's derivatives, Nomad, I never got the wallet address, so I can gift you my piece too.
Amazing. Nomadboulevard.eth.
Yeah, I guess I could have guessed that one.
Nomadboulevard.eth. And also Jesse, I need to kind of triple check on all of this, but we I want to make sure that we have purchased all of the pieces that were submitted in that contest. So I got to double check with the team to make sure that we've done that. And that was kind of the first round. Something that we want to start talking about is what is our next art contest or art collaboration? We're ready to see what everyone's made of, and we want to start kind of being a part of inspiring kind of some of the next pieces from the community. So Jesse, Mufasa, you're definitely people that please start thinking about some ideas of how we can do that. And yeah, like I was looking at, we had 3 NFT screens. And by the way, Brandy, what was the name of the company that we partnered with? I'm just blanking on the name.
Yeah, it's called Whim. See on a Whim. Everyone go follow and check them out because those canvases were amazing.
I had 2 regrets about them though. One, I wish we got 11 of them instead of 3. 3 was cool, but like we could have made a whole gallery in there. And 2, we had 3 different things going on. On one of the screens, we had just kind of some of Isabelle's favorite nomads. The other one were the featured artist pieces, so Parn and Wes and everyone. And then the other one was from our community wallet. And I wish that we were able to display more artwork from our community members that weren't the derivatives. There were a couple in there. There were like 2 or 3 that I think won one of our contests. But like I wish we would have done more of that because there's so much talent in the community. So the next event we do, it's going to be much more focused on that. And I would love help from the community curating which pieces go up into that. Um, there's a really well-known artist named Gabe Leonard who's part of the Nomad community. He was also there in person as well. He sells his paintings in galleries all over. He was actually brought into the NFT space by Wes. He and Chet Zar and a couple of other people have been talking about doing like a gallery pop up with NFTs and kind of mixing the physical and the digital. Um, so I would love to do a pop up and get these screens and start to show off some of the community artwork. So again, this is just half thought through. But if anyone in here is hearing what I'm saying and that sounds like something you want to be a part of, let's talk this week. I want to get it going really soon. Mufasa, what were you expecting, or how was the evening different from what you were expecting?
Dude, I had no idea what to expect when I got there. Honestly, because being new to the NFT space and then just knowing everyone and everything in the digital world, and then to actually go and meet everyone in the real world, it's like, what the hell just happened? Just like 2 different worlds colliding in one. So for me, it's just crazy
100%.
to want to be at my first NFT party. Oh, that was crazy. Oh shit, this is actually legit. This is real. Like, I'm here. And then all of a sudden to see my freaking derivative on the freaking screen, I was like, what the hell just happened? And yeah, my biggest thing was you and Brandy, like, your reactions. I was just like, I'm just, I'm just some dude. Like, all of a sudden, I just, oh my god, Mufasa! I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? Just confused. I'm like, how do I get a reaction like that? But I appreciate it so much.
Well, here's
But yeah,
here's. I mean, first of all, you are, right at the very core of the core. Just one of the kindest, funnest, like most genuine people we've had in our spaces, and just
oh
just
man,
take that compliment. It's true. I think everyone thinks that, but also Mufasa, I think you represent a moment in time, through the whole Nomad Boulevard journey. That really, really struck a chord with people, including Wes, Brandy, Brandon, myself, the whole Nomad team. And it was that first Twitter Spaces where you came up on stage, and people we started talking about your art and checking you out, and we started buying some of your artwork and some of your pieces, and I think that there was a shift for you there. That's not me or Nomad taking credit for the shift. I think that was just Nomad getting to be a part of your journey. And I don't know what's going to happen with the NFT space. I don't even know if there is going to be an NFT space. I don't know what's going to happen. We're so early, things are shifting so quickly, but I do know that those are the kind of moments I live for. Um, just those inspiring moments where, um, you know, talent gets seen for the first time by new people, and it makes an impact and levels you up and reminds you that what you're doing is actually worth your time and not just a hobby. And if we do anything at Nomad Boulevard, if we just have a dozen of those moments over the next year, this will have all been totally worth it. So I think that when Brandy and I saw you, it wasn't just like, wow, you're, over 6 feet. It wasn't just that. It was like, wow, like that wasn't just like this fake thing that happened on Twitter Spaces. Like this is
yeah,
this is all real. And just because we're behind Nomad doesn't mean that we weren't experiencing that party in the same way, seeing people for the first time. So
I also
Absolutely.
want to add, Mufasa, like it was so awesome to meet you and see you and like put a name to the or to the voice, I should say, to the PFP. But also, like, I know what it takes to go to a party and you're like, oh, what is this? Like, I have so much fun like behind the screen. But you know, and we've been emailing quite a bit, and I'm like begging you to come, and you showed up, and it was so awesome. And I'm just so grateful for your support. So it was really nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, Randy. For real, it means so much. And I thought it was. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. I live like 40 minutes away from the party. I'm like, why would I not show up? Like, this is like the perfect opportunity for me to actually like establish myself. Like, I'm a legit person. You know, because there's so many people going around stealing art and stuff. You don't know who's who. So I'm like, might as well. It was literally a no-brainer. And honestly, for you guys, for Nomad, just for you guys to even like I make sure if that moment in time, that once in a lifetime thing of joining that space for the first time and just be like, you know what, why not let me join this space? It just that was felt like the start of my journey. So it definitely Nomad was the starting point. Nomad and Wes, all you guys that are there, just for you guys to recognize my art, my talent, and what I had, and it just, man, it definitely like Hero said, it definitely opened up something in me for sure.
you can just tell too. I mean, even even the way that that you're talking in the spaces from that first one, now, many spaces later, I think it just kind of reminds everyone like the I always use this word. I always use the word delta, but like the gap between you and Wes and me and Parin and Isabelle and Brandy, like there's just no gap. We all sit at the same table. Maybe we order different drinks, right? But like we're all sitting at the same table here, and sometimes you just need a catalyst or a moment or something to happen for you to realize that. Um, so I see we have Isabelle in her bikini, Nomad down there. So Isabelle, I'm sure you're drawing right now, but come up and say hi when you want. Um, it was, obviously crazy for me to see Isabelle at the party, and we were both kind of looking at each other like, "Holy shit! Like, what did we do?" So that was pretty cool. And Porky, it's great to see. Wait, Porky. Hey, I'm gonna bring Porky up on stage. I'm having like a mental block because I can't remember us having a conversation at the party. So hopefully he'll come up here. All right, we got Isabelle up here. Isabelle, tell us a little bit about the party from your perspective. Actually, wait, before you go, Porky, real quick. Why am I having a blind spot right now?
I don't know.
Wait, where were we standing when we connected? Were we in by the bar?
Nah, it was like right at the front entrance.
When you were coming in for the first time to the party and I was outside?
Yeah, it was right when I came in.
Right. I'm having like a mental block right now. Porky, what did you think of the party?
Oh man, it was such a fun time. I thought that was like that's one of the coolest places I've ever been party at before. I think like the Budman Studio is just like so much cool everywhere you look. It felt like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what's that like the Winchester house, where they just like build shit on top of other shit and there's like 18 doors that go to nowhere. It felt like that. And like, I don't know, like I like Bisco Smith. So like seeing a bunch of his art on the walls was really cool. And in general, like all the people were super nice and drinks were good. And my only regret was like not being able to stay longer, but I get a little bit like mentally exhausted around that many people.
So awesome. So I've seen you at 2 events now, Denver and LA, and now you're in LA officially, right?
Well, not yet, but I will be in a couple of months. I'm really excited. I got to start looking for a place to live.
All right, well, let's talk. We'll help you figure it out. That is for sure. Isabelle, tell us a little bit about the party, and then after this, we'll jump into the whole Nifty Gateway thing.
Yeah, hey, it was wild, right? It was just like everyone like coming up and kind of introducing themselves by their handle and then trying to remember like what was the conversation I had with that person through DMs, and then trying to just make sure you connect the dots. It was like really cool. I mean, it was definitely really exciting to put faces to these people's names. And I somehow missed Mufasa, even though I saw a picture of him with Danny, and Mufasa looks like very tall. And so I'm not really sure how I missed him, but I missed him. Hi, Mufasa. I'll see you at the next one. Yeah, it was just so fun. I definitely like Porky. I was initially thinking, I'm like, I got like an hour or two of socializing in me. Like I'm not like, and especially with not having done it the past couple of years so much, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a couple hours in me, and then I might disappear. But I found myself there like almost to the end because it was just so fun, just hanging out with everyone. And obviously, an open tequila bar will uh, help with that. But yeah, it was really fun to let loose like that too, because like all of my meetings with the team, including Danny, is they've all been kind of like planning and very business like, and we haven't really had a celebratory thing together, like us founders. So it was really great to have that. I got to meet, my business partners, wives, and they got to meet my husband, and like we haven't even done that yet. We've been working together for 8 months, so that was really awesome. And I mean, even meeting Brandy and Brandon, like we talk every day, and we hadn't met in person. So yeah, just it was very important, monumental moment on the Boulevard, and I'm very grateful. Danny, have you recovered? Have you caught up on sleep? Because I know you went like straight to a camping trip with family and kids, and Allison was
Yeah,
telling me like you were leaving the next day. So
yeah.
are
The
you?
next day we went on our like preschool. It's not even a camping trip. Like we stayed in cabins and they were nice, but it still felt like camping, and we're with young kids and everything. And um, yeah, we had a great time. It was like a total shift from like it was a total shift, but like I didn't get home till 3 in the morning on Thursday. So I've just been so tired and out of it. I'm not really recovered, but not in a bad way. I just need a couple more days. But I'm like pumped up about tonight, and I'm feeling good. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it any better than you, Isabel. And we're just gonna add one more person up here. I'm trying to bring people up as they raise their hand. I also see Conrad, who was there, and wow, Spencer's here tonight. Great to see you, Spencer. Um, so before I jump into, and this time I promise I'm really going to jump into this, but does anyone else want to say hello who I brought up on stage before we go over to Parn and West and start talking Nifty? Because I know Poppy underscore ETH came up here a minute ago, and I just brought up Camp Kilmer.
Hey, sorry. How's it going?
It, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I'm definitely familiar with Parent and the Nomad project from a little while back. A friend of mine kind of put me on when I was in LA. What's up, Parent? Yeah, sorry, Parent. This is Ian from Clubhouse. Yeah, I was getting in touch with you with the gallery. Yeah, I want to talk to you about the gallery space I have, but definitely later. I want to hear more about what's going on. But it's nice to meet everybody. Pleasure.
Great. Okay. Yeah, let's definitely bring it up a little bit later, and we'd be happy to talk. All right, and there's I just want to give Camp Kilmer a chance to say hello. They've been trying to get up here for a minute.
Hey, Hero, feel free to take me down. I just transferred over that Nomad to y'all, so I'm gonna go get some sleep and try and catch up from the last week or so.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I got some projects with Sender coming up and some really cool stuff. So I'm excited to release some more info on that in the next coming days. But anyways, thank you all for allowing me to meet y'all in person. And I think I got the exact same vibes in person as on the Twitter Spaces. So let's just keep this great trend going. I love it.
That's amazing. Thanks, Jesse, and I appreciate you sending that over. And also, when you do have that next drop, let's make sure you shout about it and get the word out. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. Everyone, have a good night. God bless. And remember, I think art is life, right? Let's do it.
All right. Have a good night.
Absolutely, bro.
See, I'm
All
delirious. See ya.
right. All right. So Camp, did you want to
Yes.
say something?
Yeah, really quickly. And before I want to talk about Wes for a second, but before I have two questions. Number one, did you go to El Capitan? Is that where you went on your camping trip?
Why, yes, it is.
I've done that too with my child.
No
That's
way. How amazing is it?
yeah, of course. It's incredible. I've done it for like 6 or 7 years. My kid's 16 now. So you're just
Oh,
starting.
wow.
You're literally going to have to do it every year now.
Well, so I have an almost 6-year-old who's in kindergarten and a 4-year-old
Yeah.
who's in room 2. So we have one more year, but I've already done it
Okay.
like 3 times. So I know what you mean. Like that I realized that the first year we went. But it's great though. We had an amazing time.
Awesome. And I loved the party the other night. I was there as well. And Isabella, I want to tell you something. Every morning I drive my daughter to school, and I think I see your artwork on this coffee shop on Pico. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've got a big one there.
Yeah, every
That's
single day
awesome.
I see that. Yeah. So I look at that and I think of you guys. And is the
Nice.
Nomad host, are you the person who started Nomad? Who I met at the LA Art Show?
Me or
Oh, no, not you. There was a guy that I met at the LA Art Show who's such a nice guy, and I thought he was part of the Nomad
we
I think
have
you're
Boulevard.
I think you're talking about Greg Bean.
yeah, we have a team of what is it, 8 people, Danny? So
More.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
can
we're a big team.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
big yeah. So yeah, and I know they went to the LA Art Show. So
yeah. I met them there. They're so nice, and you guys are freaking awesome. And I love, like I said, looking at your art every day when I drive in the morning. But I'm here because I want to talk about Wes for a second. And we have this thing called Camp Kilmer. It's Val Kilmer's new NFT project, and it's really really cool. And I was so happy that Val actually purchased his second NFT that he purchased. The first one was Sabette, sorry, Wes. Um, and the second one was one of your pieces, Wes, which was so beautiful. And it was a Zen piece. And it was really cool because, Val, it, he had cancer, as you guys may or may not know. I don't know if anyone's seen the documentary, but if not, it's really amazing. And he lost his voice because of it. Even though the cancer's in remission, he still lost his voice. And the NFT that he chose from Wes was chosen because it was just so beautiful. But are you there, Wes?
Yes, I am. How you doing?
Yeah. Can you tell these guys what it actually said and what your inspiration was for it, and what the quote was that you put on that NFT?
Yeah, sure. So, what it was, so it's like these Zenscapes is what I'm calling them, where essentially I make these kind of little scenes with usually like the subject is like a bonsai tree that's in there. And it's like on a cliff or like on some mountainscape, and I try and play with the space that is in between abstract art and a landscape. So it's kind of, and this is all done digitally, but it's kind of watercolory. And I use like inks and different washes and splatter effects. And if you get the shapes to emulate what like a cliffscape landscape is, it can look pretty amazing because your mind starts to complete the rest of the scene and make like little trees or little divots in the rock or like little rock formations, or it's pretty cool how your mind kind of completes it. So I put those inside of little shapes, like simple geometric shapes. That one had to be in a circle. Um, and so what they kind of just, when I'm in the mood to do one of those, I'm usually in a very peaceful place. That's kind of why my style's all over the place, because it's like, well, tonight I feel like doing who the fuck knows? Like that's part of the beauty. And when I'm in a really nice, like serene place, that's when I gravitate more towards the Zen stuff. So that piece was done and kind of in one of those states. And when I think about it or look back on it, and like the feeling that it evokes is kind of this serenity or peacefulness. So also that comes with that is if you've ever been to a place where you've had that sort of view, and you're not with like a talkative group of people or you're by yourself or whatever the situation may be, it's kind of its own paradise. And part of it, the reason why it is a paradise is because it's quiet. So I called it Silent Paradise. And that I think is, I mean, I could almost call any of those that, but that one specifically, like that, really rang true. As well as the quote that I picked out for that piece was, again, to go with kind of like the wisdom of silence. And it was a Lao Tzu quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to attempt it, was he who does not know speaks, and he who knows is silent. Something to that effect. I don't know if those are the exact words, but just to go with that, there is like a wisdom in silence, and there's a beauty in it, and that space and kind of the feeling that I want the image to give off is one of quiet, like an intentional quiet, right? Not only you're like at one with nature and at peace, but really like just being quiet and enjoying it and not trying to fill up all the time with speaking is, I think, really important in life to get those little moments.
Yeah, and that's kind of the magic of this space. Val, we've all been in this space for probably me about a year and a half or so. I don't know about everybody else in the space, but even in the Clubhouse spaces or the Twitter spaces or anything that has to do with this NFT space, it seems like you just bump into magic and you just create magic. And the fact that, we created Camp Kilmer was really to create this space for artists and eclectics to come together and collaborate and have fun. It's a sacred space. And the fact that this man has no voice and the NFT that he buys that he's drawn to is one with this quote is just magic. So he thanks you, Wes. He loves it so much. And many people don't know that Val Kilmer was not only a legendary actor who was trained at Juilliard. He was the youngest guy, like at 17 years old. He's such a good actor, but he's also been an artist his entire life. And he's been an advocate for artists. And he had acres of land in New Mexico that he had for artists to congregate and hang out and do things. And he has a gallery in Hollywood that was created for the same purpose. And now because of the cancer, he's not as mobile as he used to be. Even though the cancer's in remission, he had radiation treatments and chemotherapy treatments, and he couldn't really fulfill the things that he wanted to fulfill in this life in the present state that he's at. But he's able to fulfill it in this space, either in, there's a metaverse that's being created that's really incredible. That's around the Camp Kilmer concept, but even in spaces like this, in the Twitter spaces, and I think it's just really beautiful. So another thing, Wes, he bought, which he bought a deck of your cards for the camp, so that everybody could play cards by the campfire. So that he really loves as well. So I just think you guys are awesome. Nomad's awesome, and you're awesome, Wes. So we can't wait to we're going to actually even do a collaboration with you, Wes, which is going to be quite fun and beautiful and inspired. So thank you, Wes, and we're excited. And I just wanted to come up and say that, and then I'll let you guys have your room.
Randy, I love you, man. I appreciate everything you just said. And honestly, for me, it's like yes, I knew this was going to be a great year, but it's like, what are we in March? And it's already like that's a life milestone, man. I'm such a fan of Val Kilmer, and the fact that all these NFT events, it's like, it pays to just show up, right? Like I met you in Miami at Art Basel, which was probably my favorite one of all of these, just because Miami's beautiful and the weather was beautiful and everything's on the beach. And we just like had dinner and we're like, hey, you're a nice guy. Let's like keep in touch and find a way to work together. And then here we are. Fast forward to now, and now there is an opportunity, and now Val Kilmer, like I met him. He knows who I am. He knows
not
that
only that, yeah, I mean, not to interrupt, but we did a Zoom call with Wes and Val together. And again, if you haven't watched this documentary, it's called Val. It's on Amazon Prime. it is incredible. Just look at the trailer on YouTube. But he had a brother who passed away when Val was 17 and his brother was a little bit younger, and they were best friends. And it has been like a hole in his heart for his whole life. And again, the magic of the space. What did he say to you, Wes?
He said, "Hey, my brother's name was Wesley," and I saw the documentary
Yeah.
called Val, and I knew that, and I didn't like forget it, but it wasn't like something that I was going to bring up. But now he knows who I am, and now it's like that piece fits so perfectly. Like the serendipity of this space it's truly magical, where it seems like the stars align so many times. We're like, how can this keep happening? Where the piece was perfect, the timing was perfect. His brother that passed away has the same name as me. Like my full name is Wesley. And now like we're in touch and now going to be collaborating, and now he's helping me as an artist with buying pieces and giving exposure to like my work, or like the current, like the Deck of Degeneracy project, like letting people know like that's a big deal, that's a big help. And then however I can repay, like bringing the whatever magical creativity that I can and putting my heart into it for whatever he's working on, or paying homage to him as an actor. Like if it's like if that collaboration is like, I'll do a portrait. There's so many to choose from of him in these dope ass roles in these movies. I mean, he was Iceman, he was fucking Doc Holliday, he was Batman, he was fucking he was Jim Morrison. Like I just did a psilocybin trip, guided trip on Saturday, literally. And so that morning, that's when I found out about the Deck of Degeneracy, that he had bought another, more pieces and bought into that project. And I was so pumped. And then I went and took a bunch of psilocybin. And the whole time it was like, I just heard this, like, almost like voice. And it was a lot of like vines and snakes and colors. And it was like, ride the snake. And it was, I swear, it was like Jim Morrison's voice, right? But it was from the movie The Doors. And I didn't even realize until later that day, like, or like the next day, excuse me, that was the face I was seeing was not Jim Morrison, was Val Kilmer. And it was like, well, that's fucking crazy, man. And like, he's just been in so many roles that you think back and you're like, this guy, and Heat and The Saint, and there's so many. It's like I can't even remember them all in one sitting, and it's such a fucking honor that now we're working together, and it's just yeah. I mean, thank you a million times over. I mean, Randy, you're the connection that made this happen. I really appreciate you.
You're welcome, Wes. And the quote was this. The quote is, "He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know." And that's the
There
quote
you
that you
go.
put into your photo. Yeah, into
There
your
you
painting.
go.
And
Well,
Nomad, we want
so
to support you guys too. So just let me know anything that we can do. You guys have top-rate artists, and we'd have fun playing together. So we're into that as well. So please just DM me, contact me, whatever you want to do.
boom. There you go.
And
Thank you, guys.
that is why you make sure that if someone requests to come up on stage right before you're about to switch topics, that you just hold for one more second and say, Camp, did you, I don't know, want to say something real quick? Because then that happens. So thanks for coming up here. That was really moving. I was actually DMing with a couple of people during that who just were like, this is unreal what's happening right now. So thanks for coming up here, man.
I think you're rugging. Is it me that's getting rugged,
Yeah,
or is it you?
no, Danny, you're rugging a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
But I could feel what you said, so I appreciate
Yeah,
it. Yeah, I got
okay.
we got it.
And I hope to come here more often, and I hope that, we could do a lot of stuff together. So anyway, guys, have a great night, okay?
Thanks, Randy. You too.
Thank you, Wes. Bye.
Okay, now as promised, 17 hours ago, we're gonna get into the drop happening on Wednesday. So am I still rugging?
No, you're better.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Let's start with Parin. Parin, can you I guess I'm curious. So having heard about Nifty Gateway a long time ago, how is this your first time dropping on Nifty Gateway?
Yeah, it's actually the first time, and I'm very excited for that.
So how did you go about picking what pieces you were going to put forward for this drop?
Usually when I want to like use different platforms, I feel like I need to add something else that previously, for example, I never showed before. So, for example, on OpenSea, which is my main collection, I have like a little bit like different kind of like drawings compared to the ones that I have on Foundation, and also compared to the ones that I have on Known Origin. And for Nifty Gateway, um, it was a couple of months that I really wanted to be there. And when I talked to you and when you gave me the news, I was very excited. So since then, I started thinking about what I want to bring to this platform, because a lot of people think I only draw line drawings and they're black and white, but obviously I work with colors as well because I actually like used to paint since many years ago in real life, not digitally. So I want to also bring that to the space more, to tell everyone that I don't only draw, but I also paint as well. And then I thought about creating a collection that I never done before, like the style that I can't wait to share the pieces, but the style that I chose for this one, obviously everybody understands that that's Parin because of the lines and also the colors that I chose, but like the textures that I used are quite different that I almost never used before in the other NFT collections. And also the stories that I want to tell with these pieces were never told before. So these are like the combination of obviously like the subject that I chose, and also the technique is quite different from the previous pieces.
So I had a sneak peek, so I'm very excited about this one, or both of them. Now, what we're gonna do is, so you and Wes each have two pieces that you're gonna be dropping. One is a actually, Wes, can you? I know that you could speak to this better than I can. One is a ranked auction, and one is an open edition. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been a minute since we talked with them about it, and I think that's what it was. It was basically we're going to use two mechanics, and they were kind of polar opposites. Where one um, is, yeah, the ranked auction was, fuck, man, I didn't write any of it down, but I remember after he said it, I was like, that is exactly fucking perfect and amazing. It was essentially two things that I've never done before. I think one of them was like, and it was also for two different demographics, so that if you're like a high roller, the auction one is more for you, because it's just bigger bucks. And then the open edition is more like the opposite, where it's like almost time based. So you open it for a certain amount of time, and the amount of people that put down for whatever the price it is get that. So it's like quantity in that one, and like, I guess, premium quality on the other one. Or I guess I don't know how I could differentiate them in terms of it's really just more, I guess, collector bases. One being of a lower dollar amount, and saying like, well, I'm not fucking spending thousands of dollars on this shit. Another one being like, oh, I only am spending thousands of dollars. I don't want to buy something that 50 other people have. There's definitely two big mindsets in this world, right? Some people are like, yo, I only buy one of ones, and some are like, dude, I'm not fucking spending that much money. That's insane. So they buy like a 50 of 50. So that doesn't really answer it, but I think that what you were saying, Danny, is right. Is that one is a like time auction, one's a time auction, and one is a like more of an open edition, I think.
Parin, do you want to articulate that a little bit, or Brandy?
Yeah, sure. I think the ranked auction, as I understood, was it's an auction that you receive bids, and once the auction period has concluded, the highest bidders are the ones that they receive one of the available editions, and they pay the price that they bid on the piece. So that was about the ranked auctions. It also for me took like a couple of hours to understand what exactly the whole thing is. And the other one, the open edition, is you set a fixed price, for example, I don't know, $300, $1,000. And then, as Wes said, you have like a set amount of time. For example, you say 1 hour. So everybody can buy your piece in that 1 hour for that fixed price. So it might be sold for like, I don't know, 100 copies or editions or like one. So I think that's how I understood, and I read like the email and everything. So it's gonna be open editions, the set time one and a set priced, and the ranked auctions that you just receive bids over and over, and then for example, if you said there are 15 editions of that, the first 15 people that they have like the highest bid can have your piece. I hope I explained it well.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. And I remember even going into like, oh, how many editions should there be for the ranked auction? Because yeah, it's at the end of the auction, it's the final number of people, and the number of people like that matches up to the edition. So if you say there's only going to be 10, then however, let's say 20 people bid, the top 10 are going to get the piece. So that's how that works. And then the other one is, yeah, it's, let's say it's like, all right, it's $100, and for 30 minutes, it's $100. However many people can buy, however many they want.
Hey, can you hear me? Am I rugged?
No, you're good.
So, I was just gonna say that 100% of the money that is made by any sales for this drop is gonna go directly towards me and a couple of my hobbies. So I don't care if I'm paid in ETH or BTC or USD, whatever. That's gonna be great.
What are the hobbies? What are the hobbies?
Hold on, let me just make sure that there's no one in the room. I'll share offline. No, I'm kidding. This is 100% of this is going to Parn and Wes. While we are going to, try to bring some awareness to the Nomad Boulevard name into new channels like the collectors and people involved in the Nifty Gateway space. This is very much for Parn and Wes to kind of build on top of the momentum they've already had in the space and do their own thing. These are not Nomad derivatives. These are, these are pieces from their own personal collections, and this will go to them. And also, we do have a friend and someone who couldn't make the party last week, but sent his sister and her friend to the party, who I got to hang out with, which was great. Greg from Nifty Gateway is here. Greg, if you want to come up on stage, we'd love to ask you some Nifty Gateway questions. We were meant to have Anoop and possibly Matthew, who aren't able to make it tonight, and would love to just get some additional color on all things Nifty Gateway from you. So feel free to request to come up here. I know you just finished something you were working on, and actually, Greg and I met while we were standing in line to get merch in New York at the BAYC line and to get wristbands for the party that week. And so Greg was there with Matthew and a couple of other people from the Nifty Gateway team, which is kind of how this whole thing started. So cool to have him in the room. And Greg, hopefully we'll meet up in a couple of weeks for NFTLA. So anyway, yeah, just request to come up here. I've invited you already, so I think you just need to accept. Here we go. Greg, welcome to the stage. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? All right, sorry.
Going really.
I'm a little late, but no, just to emphasize off what Hero was saying is, we had this just out of just the random encounter in line to get wristbands for this Well, the first Ape Fest, actually. Is that not correct?
No, that's totally
Yeah.
true. The first one.
Yeah, no. So, and then, we were talking and he showed me the art, and I'm sure, as we are all in it and we've seen the art, it's the actual combination of a profile picture project on top of good art is very, very rare. And I remember seeing the actual art and being like, oh, so you guys are actually serious about the art part. And, that's how Nifty Gateway started is, we deal with curated art, actually putting out things that, we think have some form of substance in the art world and that will last, time, whatever, uh, regardless. It came down to the fact of that the art looked great, and this was the first time I saw a profile picture project where people actually cared, or it was centered around the art, even when it came to the collective of artists that were involved. When it came to speaking to Hero, and I don't know if you're doxxed, but I'm just going to use Hero for now. But when I spoke to him, he was explaining to me, it's this is our passion project. This is what we want to focus on, and it was just refreshing because we've seen this happen over and over again, where you'll get random animal pictures out left and right, not much thinking behind it, a quick primary sellout, and then people just leave. What they have is something more cultivating, something more long term, which is something that catches my eye. And I work for collector advisory at Net to Be Gateway, and as a member of this team, I have to kind of decipher, what I think is valuable, what I think isn't. I speak with, from time to time, I'll speak with funds, I'll speak with, art houses, and I'll determine, what's valuable to me. And since I was in the space for, a year and a half, and that's a joke for most standards in any industry, but for us, that's a long time. So you notice the projects that are worth your time, and that's what I noticed here. So when I heard Hero tell me that they're going to do a Nifty Gateway drop, I'm like, no, no way. I literally, as he said, I sent my sister and her friend over just a proxy for me at the event because it looked amazing.
We had such a good time and wish you were there, but it was cool though. It was cool meeting your sister and making the connection and yeah, look, Greg, I appreciate you saying all of that. I remember our conversation like it was yesterday because it kind of was. I mean, it was only 6 months ago, and I remember I'm like, yeah, let me show you some of the featured artist pieces, and this was before we even minted them. This was before. Um, Obviously we didn't we didn't do the reveal until January. We didn't do the primary, like the main sale, until January. So I remember showing you Gavin Mealer's and Wes's, and I'm trying to think who else had theirs finished at that time. I showed you 5 or 6 that I had in my phone. I'm like, look, I can't show you this yet. This is all DL, but I want to show you kind of the caliber of artists we have participating in this project. And I remember I felt like I was showing like pictures of my kids in soccer practice to like another dad, waiting for pickup in the school line. I was like so proud to show you guys, and everyone was so into it. And you've been in the space for a year and a half. I've been in the space a year and a half. You and I both know that Nifty Gateway has that credentialism. You guys have built something that obviously has been a leader in the space. So um, that I think that's a big win for all of us to be recognized in that way. And Anoop and Chris Lee, and we've met so many people from the Nifty team now. Everyone was telling me that obviously curated is it's so difficult to get a curated drop, but even the verified drop section, there are thousands and thousands of applications to get on verified drops, and only a very small percentage kind of get through. Greg, can you tell us a little bit about the dynamics of, the difference between curated and verified? How rare is it really to get a drop on Nifty? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
No, of course. And it's with us, it's you have to have some form of product that's well established, regardless of if it's verified or curated. With curated, it's more hands-on for our producers. It's a little bit more, hey, this is what you should do, kind of more kind of hand-holding in a sense that it's curated for a reason. It's curated because our producers are very knowledgeable as to the market, the art, what the collectors, demand. But that layers straight over to verified as well. And a lot of times you'll see, blue tiered artists on our verified drops for reasons because logistical reasons, and that's what I like to, view it as here as well. With the Nomad Boulevard project, it's the art's there. It's just, sometimes if you don't have like a 3 month heads up, we just have to kind of catapult into the verified section just for the sake of, logistics. But you still get that curation process and that coverage from our producers. And, Matthew, who's on this project, is one of the best. Matthew's been in this space for 2 to 3 times the length I have. He's at the forefront of the metaverse, and he's one of the most brilliant people you could speak to when it comes to, where this technology's been and where it's heading. So to have him kind of pioneer this Nomad Boulevard project into, the verified drops, and there's no doubt in my mind that, you guys will scale and come into the curation drop, and the curated drops are, there's not much separating it right now. A lot of it is, artists that have already been with us before. It's kind of the grandfathering in process, and this is exactly what's happening with Nomad Boulevard, I believe. And yeah, that's there's not much difference as long as you're on our platform. You get the exposure, which is unbelievable exposure. On top of the fact that you get some attention from the producers that know exactly what they're doing, where they're headed. And, not many platforms offer this fiat option, which is something, it's an option that we provide, but we're also creating this wallet to wallet experience now that will be out next month, which will essentially behave in the same manner as you buying anything on OpenSea through MetaMask. It's, you'll be able to MetaMask into Nifty Gateway. So you'll have the options of, using fiat, using cryptocurrency, whatever you like. But yeah, no, that's it. I like to view it, and from a collector advisory standpoint, I like to view it as a very, very small difference between curated and verified. It's a little bit of kind of seniority.
That is exactly the explanation that I was hoping you'd be able to provide because, there's obviously a lot of nuance when it comes to the different platforms out there and just within Nifty Gateway and how much things have changed since you started working there. Great. Can I ask you a couple more questions?
Yeah, no, of course. I'm here to stay.
All right, amazing. So another question I have for you is, can you explain to everyone in the room what a ranked auction is? And then can you explain what an open edition is and kind of how that's, I don't know if proprietary is the right word, but how that's unique to Nifty Gateway?
Yeah, no, of course. So, we have our very, very unique drops in the sense that the mechanics are different than most places. It's not your 10K profile picture drop where, first come, first serve, 10,000, you're in and you're out. There's likely a gas war happening. We, with dealing with fine art and, dealing with artists that have, transitioned either from the physical space or, have been around the digital space for long enough, we have to tailor more towards, that standard. And it's less of this kind of, hype and let's see, whoever gets lucky gets lucky. We want to provide people an opportunity to get in regardless. So what an open edition is we allow anyone to buy a piece of art within a certain time frame. When I started, it was initially, 5 minutes was the standard. You have 5 minutes, and anyone could buy an open edition piece by this artist. And my actual first piece that I bought was an open edition. It was a Beeple open edition for $900. I sold it 3 days later for 5,000. 3 months later, it was escalating to like selling at like 250,000. So I'm.
Oh my God.
It was painful. It was.
Holy shit.
And the thing is, even open editions, it's like if you catch the right artist at the right time, you're gonna make a good profit, and I'm a firm believer of blood in the streets, which is, if the macro market is down, like I buy more typically, and this is where I consider it, kind of a little bit stagnant, but it's still, in my eyes, not the bear market that we saw in July and August even. But yeah, so an open edition is essentially there's a portal opens up. You could buy as many as you want at this time, and then it closes 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. However, it's defined by the artists and the producer, and that's the only time you'll be able to buy that piece. When it comes to a ranked auction, think of it like an auction, but there's more than one winner. So depending on how many editions there are being sold, and how many are you guys doing? I'm not exactly sure on that one.
So for the ranked auction, I believe the quantity, I believe that I set in stone that was recommended from, was it Matthew we were talking with, Hero? Was 10.
Yeah.
For the ranked. And then open edition was, I want to say 30 minutes, but that is one that I'm not 100% sure of the time frame.
No. With open editions, we've found the kind of wider time frame as time's gone. It's typically, we do not have the 5 minutes as frequently anymore. Now it's more 15, 20,
right,
30.
Right.
But
right, like I remember the first one, the Mad Dog Jones, on like February. It was like middle of February, and he did. It was like maybe it was $1, and it was like 7 minutes, and like 4 or 5 million people bought it in that amount of time.
Yeah, no, so it would be. I think with that Mad Dog Jones, it could have been a first come first serve. It's it's one of those formats that we unfortunately don't offer anymore because it's just prime for people that cheat the system a little. So the first person to click and buy,
right?
We've learned that that's no longer the ideal. When there were a lot fewer of us, and this was a lot less in demand, and NFT wasn't such a marketing word, buzzword, which it hurts because there's so many brilliant artists, and you don't want to kind of degrade the word of NFT because it means a lot and it transcends many technologies. But back in that time, it was pretty still wide open, so you could win some pieces for very, very cheap, very, very easily. But nowadays, it's you have a lot more demand. So obviously, first come, first serve no longer works. So we deal more with drawings. And I don't think you guys are doing any drawing format, but you guys are doing the open and the ranked. And what the ranked is, as I said, is you have an auction, but you have, in this instance, you're going to have 10 winners. And typically between the 10 spots, there's a buffer. I'm expecting with you guys, it's going to be $25 or $50. I'm not sure. Maybe even 10. It depends on how the producer wants to set it up, but you'll have people just ranked on a leaderboard from 1 to 10. Highest bid is number 1, obviously, and then escalates down, but you need some form of buffer between number 1 and number 2, number 2 and number 3, etc. So it does take a little strategy, and I do love the ranked auctions. They're actually my favorite format because, as employees, we could still participate in those. And Yeah, so
Nice.
I'll be out there. I'll be playing along, and there's some strategies as to if you have to be $25 apart from both ways. If someone bids 1,100 and the next person down, your best strategy if you're going to bid for the second spot is to bid. If that one's 1,100, you want to do like 1,001. That way, no one could come between you two, and you have the biggest gap. So it takes a lot of kind of mathematical strategy on top of it's a little bit gamified, but it's fun.
That's awesome, man. I'm very excited about this. And so it's all in US dollar amounts. Is that? I mean, it's been a while since the last thing I bought in there was like maybe the pack drop, I think,
Yeah.
or pat.
No,
It's all US dollars.
no. So, I mean, right now, as it stands, you could still come in with cryptocurrency. We have, if you make an account on our website, on our platform, you get a personalized, Ethereum wallet as well. And you could deposit Ethereum from your MetaMask, from, your exchange directly into your Nifty Gateway account. And, we called it prepaid Ethereum. And you could bid with that. You could buy anything you like with that. It's just we have that on ramp and off ramp of fiat as well, which is what's separated us from most of the other exchanges thus far. And we expect it to be one of those big pieces that do separate us, on top of the fact that we're going to allow external wallets in within the next month. So you'll be able to MetaMask in and spend Ethereum even, without depositing it into our system, just straight from your wallet.
That's great. That's great.
That's big
How
time.
well? Yeah, do you have any speculation on like the how big our audiences are and how often these drops go? Like, is there any expectation for like the amount of bidders? I mean, do you have any kind of forecast based on what you've seen prior and how the market is now and any of that? Like any idea how these will go?
It's I have to give the not financial advice, not legal advice disclaimer. I'm a former attorney, so I especially have to give that non-legal advice portion. But it comes down to the fact that, you look at the macro market right now, pretty stagnant. But then you look at the exposure that we have somewhere over 1 million, accounts / users currently. How active those accounts and users are, that's something completely different. But that's the thing that, sells. That's one of our big selling points, is the fact that we provide exposure. It's you have a lot of big name collectors. We bring in probably more of we onboard a lot of the old world, essentially the Web 2s, the fine art people, the fine art collectors, it's just the funds themselves. We've brought in, and I was onboarded by Nifty Gateway. I know plenty of people that have been onboarded by Nifty Gateway. But yeah, no, I think it's the biggest thing is the exposure, and we also have the big sell on security as well, because a lot of when it comes to older people, they don't want to deal with the MetaMask. They don't want to deal with the security issues that it brings along. So it comes down to our platform being a form of security for them as well. So it's a different audience. It's huge exposure. And, I don't want to say we don't, most of our crowd is still going to be crypto natives, younger 20 to 35-year-olds. But we do give that little bit of extra kind of exposure to the old and fine art world.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm so pumped.
There really isn't anything like speaking with someone from a company who, just knows it intrinsically, and who's, there's just nothing like hearing about it from you, Greg. So I really, really appreciate you being up here. This is super helpful. Parin, we haven't featured you tonight as much as we normally do. Do you have any questions for Greg, or is there anything that you want to bring up?
I just wanted to say, first of all, obviously, like, thank you for having us on this amazing platform. And now everything is very clear. I love like how these auctions, the ranked one, and also the open edition works, because I really like the dynamics and also the way that you present your piece. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. Thanks so much. And yeah, I know like this space is quite different from the previous ones, which I still really, really like, and I'm learning a lot. So, yeah, thanks. I was just telling to Nomad Boulevard, like to Brandy, that I need to leave in few minutes to go to the airport because I'll be traveling again, as always. So if I just leave, let's say in like 10 to 15 minutes, it's only because I just need to disconnect. But I'm trying to stay as much as I can. And yeah, thanks again.
No, pleasure's all
Thanks,
mine.
Parin.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, thanks, Parin. Greg, really, when you get a chance, go check out Parin's and Wes's work. Uh, they are just exceptional. We also have Gavin Mealer, who's in the audience as well, one of our featured artists, and then several other artists from the community in here. So, we're just excited to, bring some more awareness to this group. And I was also going to say one more thing. Oh, Greg, are you 100% coming to NFTLA?
You can't peg me in there quite yet. I have to talk to my wife before I make that commitment. She's originally from LA, so as long as she gets the time off, I'll be right then and there. But it's I will confirm in 1 week.
All right, that sounds good. Well, just keep this in mind, and this goes for other people in the room as well. We are looking into hosting something, whether it's a dinner or a smaller event or launch party the week of NFTLA. I believe either on I think the Tuesday night. I want to say it's the March 29th. So if you're going to be in LA, if you're going to be in town and want to join us, please DM me and let me know. Yeah, we'll know 100% in the next few days. And I'm going to speak to Keith tomorrow as well to see if we can get something rocking with Party Animals as well. Also, we just pinned a tweet. If you go up and look at that, it's a video that one of our designers put together. That's basically Nomad Boulevard Nifty Gateway Artist Series with Parn and Wes. So we'll have some more of that stuff going out through Nifty Gateway social channels, through our stuff. We're going to try to do another Spaces the day of, which is this Wednesday. And we're really excited. It's our first one. And after that one, we'll announce our next artist or two artists of the month, and we'll keep going through the rest of the year. So it's 9:30. Yeah, go Wes.
By the way, I haven't said this yet, but Parn, I am very excited that it is you that is my partner in this drop. And that also, obviously, that it's on Nifty Gateway, like Hero has said. Like, let me just also thank Nomad and all of you for doing this. Like, this is amazing. And any new artists that are listening, or even artists that are not new but are, looking to get into Nomad and be more in their kind of inner circles, man, like, this is what happens, right? Like, Nifty Gateway was the only reason why I had like one spot there like a year ago is because Logan Paul and I were going to drop 3 NFTs for his fight against Floyd Mayweather, but then everything got all fucked up and I had to lose my place. But that was like from the gods. And I was like, if you don't have that, like, it was nearly impossible to get on there. And here we go. We got it Wednesday. And I'm so pumped. And Par, I'm glad that it's you that's my partner.
I can't believe that you just said that, because I was so like about to say the exact same thing. And it always happens, like every time that I want to say like, oh my God, Wes, I'm so glad about, and you just like say that every time few seconds before. I'm actually extremely happy about this as well. Well, I mean, I love all the artists in Nomad Boulevard team, of course, but I'm like extra excited for this to be with you here. And I also wanted to say thank you to Hero and Nomad team that not only the collection is amazing. I still just go to OpenSea and scroll down and see all these beautiful gorillas. But the family, I always say, like, I have a family called Nomad Boulevard. Like, I don't say my friends, I don't say the people that I worked with. You're all my family. And it's amazing what Nomad team is doing for the artists. I've never ever seen such a thing before. The amount of support that we received, all of the spaces, like just look, it's like 5 in the morning. I'm not sleepy. I'm just very happy to be here. I think I love to sleep, and it's so difficult for me to stay up. But all of the spaces that Nomad hosted, I was more than happy to stay here. It's because of what you all created for us artists, and for the team. I'm super thankful for that, and I cannot wait to see you in person finally. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I cannot wait for that. So exactly as Wes said, same things that again Wes always says perfectly, beautifully. I just wanted to also add this.
Par, are you coming to NFTLA by any chance?
Well, it's been a year that I'm waiting for my, for the US Embassy
Oh
appointment because
God,
of
that's
COVID.
right.
Yeah, they kept like postponing that. And for now, the last communication is April 21st. So hopefully, if
Damn.
I go there, I might be able to come to, well, obviously first LA in the first week of May. So that's my plan. And I'm going to stay there probably for a couple of years. It's not going to be only for a week or two. That's for sure.
Nice. Yeah, it'll be, I mean, then I'm sure there'll be crazy events, then, and it'll be summer everywhere around here. So the weather will be great wherever the events are, and that's amazing. That was one thing where, side note, like East Denver, if you would have been in for that, I would have been like, don't even do it. Like for whatever reason, the city of Denver or the people throwing the event are doing this in February. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like I'm from Chicago and the winter is way worse in Chicago. You don't go to Chicago in February. That's like the dumbest thing that you can do. February is literally the worst month of winter. And in Denver, I believe the same holds true. And it was just like, come on, man. People already think Denver is like way snowier than it is. They don't know it for like being a sunny mountain paradise. And you're going to do this event in February. So all I know is they should have done it when you would be able to go, which would be like, I don't know, June, July, something like that, which would just be fucking gorgeous. But we'll figure something out, Parn, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of reasons, excuses, whatever you want to call them, to come over here and for us all to party, get together, do something. And LA it's usually the spot, right? But we'll
So
figure something
basically,
out.
just so you know, Wes, all of Los Angeles is going to shut down when Parn comes to LA. So like nothing will be open. Kids won't go to school. Everything shuts down. No flights will be leaving. So I have all of that done. Parn just needs to get here. And I've always said to you, Wes, that you will always have dibs on my little guest room at my house if you ever in LA. Like I've always told Wes that, and I meant it. However, Parin, you come to LA, you know, Wes can Wes can find a nice motel down the road or something. And I'm totally being serious. So
Yeah, that's real. That's not a joke, I don't think, right there.
yeah, we can't wait to see you. And yeah, look, I think now. Oh, I did want to mention one thing before I forget. So, and Keith, well, I've still got you on stage. So, we do have a passcode for party animals. So if you go to partyanimals.io, and that's animals with a Z, we have a passcode, and the passcode is Party with Nomad. So just gonna throw that out there. If anyone in the room has any questions or needs me to, DM them that later, just message me. I've been speaking to Keith kind of offline through the course of the night, and we're starting to plan something for NFT LA week. So yeah, excited. We'll hopefully announce that on Wednesday during our Twitter Spaces then. So yeah, that's partyannals with a Z.io, Party with Nomad. Check that out. And Brandy, I always do this in every space. What am I missing?
Well, I'm gonna pin it, but I just posted who won the West piece, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of jealous people out there. It's Nomad holder. It's so how we did it is we picked a Nomad holder, which is awesome. So it's Nomad number 1237. I just posted it and I will link it here. So if you guys know who this is, definitely ping them and tell them they won this.
That's super dope. And also the piece they won, I'm very proud of that piece. It's like a lot of things that because my style is so fucking all over the place, it's like schizophrenic in a way. And I honestly am a passenger and a driver for a lot of these. Like, I don't know what the fuck it's going to be. And that one is one where I got finished and I was like, ooh, that's dope. Like, I don't know where it came from. It's just some, what I was going after was creating a dope skull that could in some way talk about kind of I say we, and if you're included in this, great. If you're not, then, whatever. But people we're all kind of like the Ethereum blockchain brought us together, and it's this public, beautiful thing, but there's like this, not like bad darkness, but there's this like, it has like control of me a little bit, like in a good way, because I love it, but it's also like, that's the chain I want to mint on. That's the chain that I'm interested in. That's the chain that I want to go up the most. Like, that's the most important thing. And kind of the essence of that piece was, and I think I titled it Ethereal Oblivion, which was essentially like, this fucking blockchain Ethereum is going to be the death of me. Like, it's just like, emotionally it has a grip that it's like the end all be all kind of alpha omega. And that's what that piece represents. And I also made it gold because I fucking love gold. So that's that piece, and I love it, and congrats to whoever got it. Also, Hero, what day should I go to? This is a different topic slightly, but what day should I go to NFT LA? Like, what day is a good day to come in, and what day is a good day to come out? And I'm speaking on, I don't remember if you were standing there. Andy was standing there. His memory is probably better than mine, even though it's when I'm speaking. But I think they said I was Tuesday, but I don't know. I haven't looked at shit. I haven't looked at flights, nothing. But I'm just wondering if you have any like off the cuff answer of like when people are coming in and leaving.
So I'm going to answer that question in two ways. The first way is I'll probably talk to you multiple times within the next few days, and I'll tell you exactly when you should come.
Okay.
So that's the first way. The second way is it looks like maybe we'll do something on the 31st now, which I think is the Thursday. So I'll just let everyone know. Like, once we know, I'll let everyone know. But we're going to definitely, like, Nomad Boulevard is definitely going to represent that week. I know Greg from Nifty Gateway, who's on this Twitter Spaces right now. I know he's already looked at like flights just to kind of see what his options are, just to make sure there's like a good direct flight. So before he talks to his wife, he's like already has an idea of like, he'll probably say something like, "Look, I'm gonna go when when the kids are asleep." Like, I can you tell like what the wheels are turning in there. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Just quickly, if Wes is from Chicago, we might as well just road trip down there.
Say that again, Greg.
Greg, I DM'd you. So I said, because I know Chicago well because I was born and raised there, and then I lived downtown for the last 15 years. But I literally just moved to Denver in
my
August.
heart. Okay, all right. I'll pick you up on my way to LA then.
There you go. I love it.
Also, YVR, you're not on stage, so just like, give me like a peace sign. Are you going to be back on this continent by the end of March?
Nope, you got to say something else now, maybe.
Oh yeah, I didn't say like if it's a no, give like a different symbol. So I don't.
Oh,
He
yeah,
is.
there it is, March.
All right, so he is going to be back in March. All right.
Oh, that's two peace signs. Maybe that means April, bro. Oh, fuck, that's June, dude. He's going to be there forever.
No, maybe that means 2 + 2 + 2 is 6, which means he's going to be back in 6 days.
2024 he's coming back. That's 2 years, I think he said.
No, or maybe 2222. Maybe he's going to freeze himself and set an alarm.
That was good.
All right, I'm gonna invite YVR up because I need.
There's a lot of people in the stands. By the way, what up to everybody? I don't even want to name names because it's like now this is just like when these rooms happen, Hero, that you throw. It's like I can't just start saying hello. It's gonna sound so annoying because I love everyone in the audience, and I also wish it's like. Some people are like, oh, yeah, Twitter's better because there's less people up on stage. I'm like, I don't know, man. There was something like, I wish we could pick the settings of make it more like Clubhousey where we could allow like more people to speak. I think if people follow the rules correctly, which we could set out and make like, yo, you can still mute everybody if it gets out of hand or reset the room, all that shit, but like allow like 50 people to fucking have a chance to speak at the same time. I don't know. But what up, everybody?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would love to have more people up here. And then it's also like sometimes I'll invite someone up and they won't accept, but I don't know if that's because they don't want to accept or they didn't notice that I did it. And then I don't want to be like, hey, Gavin, I invited you up here. You didn't come up here.
And they're
Give
like,
me a peace sign
God,
if you.
Man, I don't want to say anything. I hate this shit. Right? Like you don't know. Like to me, I'm like, dude, hurry up, put me on stage like within a minute because I want to just fucking hear myself talk because I'm a jackass. But it's like someone would be like, that's like their worst nightmare. Any form of public speaking. You never know.
Yeah, like you.
That's
all
right.
right, so I want to just do a poll, right? So basically, give me a heart if you think this PFP is cute and adorable, and give me a peace sign if you think it's creepy. And yes, I'm calling out someone in the room right now. So if everyone goes down into the audience and looks at Daniel DeSantis, he's got the Nomad with the little kitten, and I've heard that this is the most adorable like creation of Isabelle's of all time. I've also heard that the cat just adds like this little bit of like creepiness. So on the count of 3, give me a heart if you love it, peace sign if it's creepy, and then Daniel if it's all right. 1, 2, 3.
Creepy, dude. It ain't fucking creepy. You know what it is? It's like it's fucking, dude. It's 2022, so it's like if it has anything that's like you're able to just be like, oh god, that's creepy. That's someone's just trying to be. That's hypersensitive, dude. It's a fucking little kitty with the Nomad, dude, and it's like, and whoever thinks that is creepy, they are creepy because they see too many things as creepy. So fuck that shit.
All right. Well, maybe Wes, all right, so Wes and I are basically hosting these Twitter spaces on Wednesday. And I don't know if we have like a branded title for it yet, but like we're going with Wednesdays with Wes, which like I think it's cool that we chose to start with that title because it can only get better from there. Like we can only come up with something more creative. But I guess Wednesday and Wes both starts with a W, so like that's like alliteration or onomatopoeia or whatever that is. But maybe we should maybe maybe we should name the
Alliteration,
Twitter
by the
space.
way. I think onomatopoeia is like when you say the word that sounds like the sound, right? I think that's right.
True. I guess one could argue that Wes is onomatopoeia and alliteration, but I hear you. Um,
I think it
so
just makes a dope acronym. It's WWW.
Oh,
WW. Oh shit.
yeah. Triple
Yeah.
dubs.
It's
Trip
the
Wow.
dubs.
worldwide Wes.
Isabelle, you're such a mic dropper.
Yeah.
Bye.
Just like, hi.
That should be one of these emojis right here, right?
Yo, by the way, am I crazy? Did I see at the beginning, I think it was Mufasa, threw up a fist. And I was like, how do you get the fist? Am I crazy? Or did I see that?
No, he hasn't upgraded his Twitter. So actually
Yeah.
Mufasa
Oh.
and also James Johnson, he's been throwing up the 100, and every time he does it, I'm like, oh, what a perfect use of a Twitter emoji based on what someone said that was deserving of 100 slash so annoyed that I don't have the 100 anymore and really bothered by it.
Yeah, dude, I gotta say the update was no good. Like they took away our power to speak in emoji. Like first off, there's just a lot of overlap. The peace sign doesn't make sense. Like, okay, you can put that if you're saying goodbye, but like that's the only way that I've ever used the peace sign in my life is to say goodbye. That is it. Or like maybe from afar, like nice to meet you or something, but in this space, it just doesn't make sense. And then you got which the hand raise on the right, okay, leave it, right? The wave, yeah, I don't know, I guess so, but like how many times do you like it needs to be conversational. So the piece is like I think the least useful. The clap works, but I would much rather have 100 or a fist to be like, fuck yeah, I agree. The laugh works, right? Like, yeah, that's perfect. And the heart works. So I guess the clap should be changed to the fist or the 100, and the peace sign should be fist or 100. Just put it back, God damn it. You know what I
All
mean?
right, so
Come on.
Wes, basically for 60 seconds, which in the NFT space is really like 60 minutes, um, the room was just basically giving peace sign after peace sign after peace sign during your entire Twitter emoji rant.
Yeah, I
And what I
saw.
realized is you didn't laugh, which meant that you didn't see it, which meant that you probably like put nice, like perfectly cut cucumber slices on your eyes to like just relax your face and to like go through your nightly ritual. That's the
My
only
mask,
logical
my mud
explanation.
mask. No, dude,
You're
I get it. Like, yeah, we're all throwing it up because it's like, oh yeah, fuck. Like, look, I get it, but like, come on, tell me you don't agree with me like that. How when do you act? Oh, there's the fist, Mufasa. See, it's
I know.
perfect. It makes sense. Like, all right,
It is
I have me.
perfect for real.
Like, I don't know, man. Whatever. Who cares if we never had it? I wouldn't be saying this, and we'll get used to it. And this is not an actual real problem, but like, that wasn't. I don't think that was an improvement that they did. What's going on?
No,
It's
it's gone down. Like if someone says something and I want to be like, true or like, yes, like say it, like you're saying what we're all feeling. Like, yeah, Mufasa. All right, we get it. You have a fist. Now, all right. Here, all right. We're now. Is there a way to limit the number of fists someone who still has the OG Twitter emoji capabilities can use in a given minute on a Twitter space? Because now I'm starting to. Okay, now Greg is raising his hand. I don't know if
Why
that's the
don't you
new
just use
fist.
me? Whenever you need the fish, just let me know. I'll throw it out.
All right, that works. I like that.
nice.
Very, very Web3 of you. All right, so Greg, were you going to say something?
Absolutely not. Just boomer figuring out the technology.
All right, so by the way, I feel like what has happened in the last 10 minutes is that the peace sign is now going to become the most used Twitter emoji ever. Like, that's all I want to do. I
I
just
mean,
want to
look,
sit here.
maybe we can take the power of it and like, look, that forcing it because of my hatred of it, or me saying like it doesn't fit and it's only used to say goodbye and like nice to meet you is going to give it the power to change its meaning where it's like maybe now that's like the fist. But
Maybe
it's
we
only
should
gonna last for
change.
as long as this room is, dude, and then it resets.
All right, so maybe here's two ideas, and then I want to ask YVR, what his like peace sign Morse code was all about. But let's just do two things. Let's just assume that all of us are going to change our PFP to the Twitter peace sign emoji. And two, Wes, why don't you start a 10,000 generative NFT project with different variations of a peace sign, and we'll get behind it, and it will take over. And
Yo, by the way, that reminds me of really quickly this idea I had for a PFP that I never did, which I think is fucking brilliant. And whatever, someone can fucking steal this because I'm lazy. I'm probably not going to do it. And it takes a lot of effort just for it to be like a funny joke. But I would call the project dog shit. Literally call it dog shit. And what it would, because it's like a play on, like, you know how much garbage is floating around. But what it would be is it would be dogs. Like, you've seen a picture of a dog taking a shit where it's kind of like it's hunched down and then it's kind of looking at the camera, but it's like looking through the camera, right? Where it's kind of this weird face the dog's pulling, and you're like, well, who's weirder, the dog looking at me or me watching the dog while it takes a shit? But like, we all do it if you have a dog or you go to the dog park, whatever. And then what it would be is it would be a limited edition run. And I was thinking about doing it as like pixel art, and the dogs would all be like different breeds, right? So you got all the different colors. The background could be a different situation, and then the actual dog shit itself that's coming out, like maybe you got the golden dog shit or the DMT dog shit, or like that would be like the attributes to go. Like maybe they're accessorized as well with like sunglasses and shit, but I don't want to get too fancy. But anyways, that's my idea for a PFP, that you could just call it dog shit. And I feel like it would work because this space loves ridiculous shit that like could possibly, if it can make it, if the floor could rise up high enough for it to make the news, it just upsets people. And I feel like that brings joy to so many people. And I understand it fully, that I'm like, I don't know, I feel like that's one that would like ring true in this space.
maybe with one of like a dog shitting out a peace sign would be like the super rare.
There you go, dude. That could be it.
Dog shitting emoji might be on something.
Yes. I don't know. Dog shit, right? You're like, yeah, I invested a lot in this dog shit project. Like, I don't know.
So if anyone just happened to like join the room in the last 120 seconds, and like there's like this rumor that starts going around that there's this dog shit project on Nifty Gateway, powered by Nomad Boulevard, like that's gonna be a big bummer. Or not, or it will be the best
No,
thing that ever
dude, it would
happened.
be a
So
hit. It would be
yeah, it
a
would be a
hit
hit.
because it's not trying at all. It's like the opposite. It's like fuck you and fuck any degree of seriousness that's involved in any of this shit.
Any of this dog shit. So YVR, can you tell us what you meant by peace sign, pause, peace sign, pause, peace sign?
No specific message. Just rubbing it into Wes's face. That's all.
So YVR, where?
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Come back. I'm still in Koh Samui, Thailand. Been here for about 3 weeks, relaxing. It's been beautiful. So.
I mean, first off, let me applaud you and just say, like, so I've recently come to the notion of like, look, that's how you take like a true vacation. Like the last time I went to Japan, it was 14 days, and I left thinking that was too short. If I do it again, it's going to be a minimum of 3 weeks, maybe a month. And you, like, how much longer you got there?
Got another week, so I'll be here like a month total.
Jeez, I mean, like that is a vacation, because I feel like for the first week, like a 1 week vacation, like, yeah, but time goes by in a flash, and then you're back and you're like, oh man, now you just got your pictures. But if you do a full month, I feel like you get this like romance period of the first week of like, what the fuck is this? Trying to just interpret data and figure out how to get places. And then you're smoothing it out slowly in the second week. And then by the third, you're like, yo, I fucking live here now. And by the fourth, you're like, oh man, we're kind of wrapping it up. And then going home becomes exciting because you haven't been home in a month. So now leaving becomes enjoyable as well. And I feel like, I don't know, man, that just seems like the perfect moment time.
Or if you have two young kids, just like getting in your car and hiding there for 5 minutes, feels like exactly what you just described. But like, yeah, that.
Yes. Or just abandon them for a month. Like, look, and then they'll have the same experience too, because it'll feel like forever, but then they'll get used to it. And then like you'll come back into their life and be like, we're here to like take you to school and make you food. And they're like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean?
And then as I'm saying goodbye, they're like, Dad, and by the way, 6 and 4, they're like, Dad, you're really going to leave us? And I won't even say anything. I'll just hold up a peace sign and I'll walk out the door.
And I'll be like, there you go, dude. The one use for the fucking peace sign. There it is.
Anytime you meet Wes going forward, you have to meet him with a peace sign.
I'll be like, man, everyone just immediately wants to leave as soon as they meet me. Though, like I said, it also applies to like meeting someone. Like, but it's more from afar. I feel like standing next to them and you just hit them with the peace sign and be like, "Fuck was that, dude? What are you doing?"
But what's the deal with emojis now? There's nothing. They're all positive. Like, if somebody says something shitty that I don't agree with, I want an emoji where I can like thumbs down or the middle finger, something more real, right?
Bro, that's like, this is that like, I mean, don't even get me started on this like fucking it's almost like not anti-freedom of speech. It's like anti-go with the group thinking shit. Like, didn't they either are taking that off of YouTube or they already took it off where you can't dislike a video anymore?
It's like the kid getting the seventh place ribbon, right? So
right,
everything's
exactly.
positive. Thanks for coming out. You're a loser,
Right,
but you get a ribbon.
Oh, an opposing viewpoint. Like, I'm sorry, no, thank you. Like, that's wrong. And you're like, bro, this is like the crux of the whole shit, man. Fuck you talking about? But look, we're not gonna get going. We're not going down. That's a slippery road right there. Danny, you're the PR guy, dude. Step in and figure this out.
Yeah, this is on
Hero.
me, guys.
I met Hero.
Oh shoot, you just doxed me, Wes.
when he said
Danny, he meant, that's like how he sneezes. Bless you. So
I feel like
also,
at this point, dude, like, you're doxed as fuck. Like, we should just give out your address at this point. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Like a list of fears, your daily schedule, shit like that.
You know what I'll do? I'll send the results of 7 different personality tests that I've taken. Just so, like, I really want people to know me. By the way, Punk Actual, you didn't think you were coming in this room and not have me call you out on your PFP not being the one that is the most comforting for me. So feel free to give me a peace sign if you can hear me now. Otherwise, everyone, Punk has gotten his account hacked, and I'm worried.
Shit, dude, you got to get that dual verification or whatever, if that's what's up. Don't get hacked, baby.
You know what? That was just a little bit ruggy, Wes. I didn't hear you.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Oh, I said you got to get the double verification, like, on everything, where they're like, and use Google Authenticator. Like, a lot of these apps, like, people that get hacked, it's because they have single authentication and their password blows, and like, that's what happens. And
people should just change their password to password, then they'll never forget it.
Yo, by the way, on that note, let me just say, because this is a life problem for everyone, and if you haven't figured it out, it's still a problem for you. And I will tell you that the problem of multiple passwords in your fucking life, and this is like, I work for them, it sounds like it, is one password. Okay, I got this shit like a year ago, and I put it on all my devices. It all gets stored into this like one encrypted vault, and you can put notes and images and files and passwords that immediately link up when you're trying to log into anything, and you can just organize them all there. It's like fucking $3 a month or something. And I swear to God, it has changed my life. Because I used to have it where passwords were like, maybe they're like on a document or they're over here, or like it was just a mess. And 1Password is the greatest gift, because if you're like, I'm not like a super indoor person, but I am like, that's how I like do business, is all computers all day, right? Whatever the technology is, like all day. And 1Password is just life changing. You don't have to think about it. So if anyone has any of those problems, I'm telling you, it's amazing. And it will literally take the like anxiety of remembering passwords, keeping track of them, plugging them in, any of that shit. And it works better than you think. Once you get the hang of it, it's fucking amazing.
What's your 1Password?
My passphrase as well is tree, car, cat, green, cat. No, I don't fucking know. I don't even know my 1Password. I use my face. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the other thing is on the phone, you can use your Face ID to open everything. So even if you forget what it is, you just pop open that app and you use your face to unlock it, and you know, that works. So like, you don't have to remember shit. It's amazing.
So Punk.
So here.
Oh, by the way, Wes, real quick before I just ask Punk something. So Wes, is one, you said 1Password, right?
1Password. That's what it's called.
Is it totally synced from phone to desktop?
It's synced on every device you want it to be. So you can put it on everything. And it's an app that you download. Like if you're in the Apple ecosystem, which I know you are, everything works together. So if you update it on one app, it updates on everything. So you don't have to worry about versions or where it is or anything. And it's just because I'm sure it like pings the cloud every time you do anything, and you're good to go on every device. So as soon as you need to log into something, you'll click on like the user or the wherever the first field is where you start, like on your phone, for instance. And as soon as you click that, your keyboard comes up, and at the top, there'll be like a little, what is it, a lock and key like icon situation right there, and you click that, and it'll bring up like your keychain with your Apple stuff, which is like how a lot of us use to log into shit. But then it'll give you another option and say 1Password, because your phone will now know that that's one of the apps you use, and you click that, and then it'll be like this one, right? And it'll be nice and organized, and you're like, yep, autofill, and you're done. Like it, and then you get the hang of it, and it's like satisfying every time you got to log into anything. And keeping that thing up to date is just beautiful. And if you're like, oh, I got, all this other data I need to take care of that's not a password, you can just put it in your one. It's like a giant digital vault, and you can put whatever the fuck you want in there, and it organizes everything. And it's, I don't know, I fucking love it, dude. I would pay $10 a month easily for this shit. So like, I'm just saying, like my life is all about like minimalism. I wear the same goddamn thing every day so that I don't have to use any of my like, I believe that everyone has a jar of marbles for the day, right? Like those are all your decisions. Let's say you got 100 marbles a day. Like I don't want to spend any marbles picking out my clothes, so I don't. I wear the same shit. I don't want to spend marbles doing like, mediocre tasks, like dumb shit, or like, getting stressed about, I can't remember this login, or like having to go and find it. Dude, that shit just eats up like 5, 10 minutes, 15. Could be like, if you don't have this organized well and you have to do it constantly, it's a little thing, but maybe that eats up like 30 minutes of every day of your fucking life. Like what? That's just insane, man. Save all the marbles for like, I save them all for like art, like creative decision making. So I'm just like, I'm good. I save all the marbles for the big choices. I don't know. And that's just like another way to streamline the bullshit. Like that's how to streamline the bullshit, man. It's like one of the greatest ways. All right, I'll stop my rant on fucking 1Password, but
The amount of peace that has come to this space because of your rants and your contribution. So much peace.
It works now, though. I love it.
So over to Punk Actual. What say you?
Life's good, man. How was the Nomad party? I was kind of bummed I missed it, or super bummed I missed it, to be honest with you.
It missed you. It was, how do I say this? Very, very nomad. There were 350 people that showed up. We kind of spent the first half hour of tonight's spaces kind of just doing a recap. We had a bunch of the Nomad featured artists there, which really meant a lot. Gavin flew out. Gavin, I'm not sure if it was your wife or your girlfriend who I met who got one of the first tattoos, but it was really, really great to meet you. I was like a little shell shocked at the start. But it was great to meet Gavin, and Wes flew out, Luther flew out. We had Gabe Weiss there, and Claire Salvo was there. Alio Siren, Mr. Melty, and his wife Taylor flew out. So it was just, that was really, really special. Isabelle was there, whatever. And also the space that we chose is actually down the alley from one of Isabelle's murals. So if you recognize the Buddha mural.
I saw that. That was so fucking cool. Like, I walked out into the one alley to maybe take a piss, allegedly, like try and prove it, you know what I'm saying? But like, I went out there and I look as I'm taking a piss, I was like, no fucking way, dude. I can see down one alleyway and right at the end a fucking Nomad mural from Isabelle. I was like, this is crazy.
I know. It was pretty cool. And it was pretty cool. And Punk, we had Mufasa there, Anastasia was there, Manu was there, Dream was there. Oh my gosh, Dream, you weren't here at the beginning of the call. It was so great to meet you in person. That was epic. Porky was there, 3 Min X flew out, Mike was there. It was very fucking cool. We had like OG Nomad community. We had featured artists. We had a lot of different people from the media and entertainment industry there. Like, not like A-list celebrities, but like definitely some people that are movers and shakers on the space that are interested in Nomad. And, we'll have some announcements coming soon on that front. We had a tattoo artist who was giving tattoos through the night. Kind of just like a little quirky gift from Nomad.
Yo,
We had
that
an amazing.
By the way, let me just stop you right there and say, like, everything that you say that went into this, it all just feels like, oh yeah, that's how you do like a really great party. But that one sticks out as like, wait a minute, there was a tattoo artist at the party and people are just getting inked up like at the thing, and like that is
Acting ink or like henna, like type stuff.
like I loved it. No, this was legit tattoos, right? This was permanent action.
This was not a henna station. It was also not a those tattoos that you like put on your arm and you get some warm water and a warm washcloth and you put it over the tattoo and you count to 10 and then you're like, oh my God, Mickey Mouse is on there, but one of his ears didn't. Yeah, these were like real tattoos. People will live with them forever. It was cool. And what we did was we chose like 10 different ones that people could pick from. So one was like a rose, one was LA and the Nomad Boulevard font. One was dice, and one was a safety pin. And then there were a couple people that just asked the tattoo artist to do something kind of basic, like a name or letters or something, but they came out really, really well. We also had these NFT screens where we were showing featured artists, nomads, some of Isabelle's favorite nomads, and some of the pieces of artwork and derivatives from the community. So that was cool. We had 2 different DJs. Oh, there was one kind of 40-minute disaster, which was the first of 2 DJs showed up, and the kind of system that she was using, we didn't have the right cable to hook it up to the speaker system that we rented. So the first 40 minutes, it was like no music. Oh, and there was
Yo,
another thing that was, yeah.
by the way, really quick on that, like if you are a digital, and I don't know if they're in this room, and I'm like, I think I feel bad, but like if I was a DJ and someone booked me to be in charge of the music somewhere, like bring all the fucking cables. You know what I'm saying? Like you might like double down on that extra like
Or at least like
HDMI to fucking USB, like whatever it is, dude. Like that's like one Amazon order where you can get like it goes from anything to anything. Like it's like they make that shit. Like I feel like that's just a rookie mistake right there.
Yeah, that's a rookie mistake, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, DJs are like drummers. They're a bit all over the place, and I am a DJ too, so I know it. But like, usually you'd advance yourself, or at least check out the gear you're going to use for the night.
And
Well,
even if
The
someone
venue
told
was
me
really
what it was
cool
going to
too.
be, well, the venue was amazing.
Amazing.
Andre, what's going on?
Well, I saw that you were having this room and you're talking about that fabulous party Thursday night. You know, that was really quite a party on a lot of levels. And it had to do with, you know, obviously it had to do with the NFT revolution, the tsunami, the NFT tsunami and everything. But it also had to do with coming out to a party after COVID time. And the energy at that party, I thought was really electric. You could cut the energy in there with a knife. And I think a lot of that, nobody's obviously no masks anymore, so which is great. But the whole thing, and I'm a newbie to the NFT world, pretty much only about 7 months or so. But I've been going into these rooms because I'm directed to go into the rooms, which on a lot of levels I find kind of stressful, even though I can talk and everything. It's just, I don't know, there's a certain thing about being on in these rooms. And the party thing is like, it's like a room, but it's with real people, with the full, with the eyes and the faces and body language and all that stuff. So it's like the room's preparing one to go to an actual live party. And honestly, I went to another party Saturday night that was a launch party for Witchy GF, something. I don't know if you heard of that one, but that was up in Baldwin Hills and overlooking like the whole LA basin. And there were lots and lots of people there that also were at the party Thursday night. So for me, it was like back to back supercharged parties. I mean, I kept saying, this is dating me, of course, but it reminded me of the 80s. Because that was where so much action was always going on at these parties. But I have to say, I think that Jim Budman's space, and I also have to say that he has been a friend of mine now for one of my best friends for like 42 years. But his collection, because he's an ultimate collector, he collects people, he collects objects, he collects art, he collects happenings, and that collection of his and the ambiance, I think, that's in there, where everything that's eclectic in his space is all handmade. I just wonder if all that work in there being so authentic and handmade, if that it has a certain excitement, ambiance to a lot of people that are they're doing everything from the computer, which is a lot slicker. So I had this epiphany there Thursday night with all that stuff in there, with all those people, because the place was jammed. I mean, that was a really great party, but how much the environment added, to that excitement of people and the desire of people to want something, more hand done, something more with grease. I don't know, but I thought that was a really, really interesting event on a lot of levels.
Yeah, also here I was gonna say, like, that was one event. It felt like just a blip in time, and it was I feel like it should be done more, right? Like how big of a, oh my God, it took all the energy out of me that I can't do it again, or is it like, yo, fucking
But
quarterly?
I think that is all going to be happening, because I saw it not just an NFT thing, But I saw it as a party thing, that this is coming out of the COVID thing, psychologically. I mean, the 2 years is a really fucking long time, where everybody has been in that same boat. And so you really get this feeling from people that they're so excited, to be out and to be actually communicating with people face to face again.
100%. So, Hero, on that note, the people want to know, dude, when's the next party? Hurry up, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is awkward, but we've already had another party since Thursday. So if you didn't hear
Oh
about
my
it,
God.
yeah, sorry.
Wow.
That's pretty
We wanted to
good.
be
Way to
in. We
go.
wanted everyone to be able to be there, but it was we wanted to keep it to kind of the main people. So
What
um,
was the total number? Do you have an estimate on how many people showed up?
yeah. So we brought 300 wristbands, and all 300 wristbands were gone, and then we probably checked in another 50 people, so about 350 people.
Wow.
Wow, that was excellent.
Yeah.
Nicely done, man.
But I
Do it
think,
again, dude,
but
monthly.
I've been to, like, with knowing Jim now, and I didn't even know when I got my this commission to do this PFP, this 10,000 thing, and this whole story. But I didn't even know that Jim Budman was already into collecting NFTs, and then his venue there, because he's kind of like my inside trader guy, because I've been out to that for maybe 5 different NFT related parties. So I think that spot is becoming kind of an industry spot. I think, or something, because it does have that. Where else are you going to find a venue like that has that kind of that vibe with all that stuff in there?
Yeah,
Hero,
no,
there
that's
you go, dude. So do it at the space again, but let's get some permanent screens in that bitch. So you always have, so you don't have to do so much prep, so much setup. You know what I mean? Like the truck pulls up back, you got a wristband guy, the DJ brings the cord, boom, we're fucking doing it again, you know?
yeah.
Never have I wanted that 100 sign more. But I'm like, what do I do here? Maybe here, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna clap.
Throw up
I'm gonna
that
Mufasa's
clap for that.
representing for the
the
room.
clap. Nice. I got you guys.
Yeah.
So look, Budman Studio is one that I mean, look, part of me doesn't want to have another Rager at that studio, at least for a while, because I don't want
Let
to
it
take away
breathe.
from
Let it
that.
breathe.
Yeah,
Right.
let it breathe. But I've mentioned this a couple times in the room. I'm going to be talking with from Party Animals to see if we can do something for the last week of March. That could be the next one.
Bingo. Do
Yeah,
But
I
it,
when
think
isn't
dude.
there the NFT thing at the convention center at the end of the month?
yeah, but I every time that I go to a conference, I've been to Cannes a couple of times and NFT NYC and Art Basel, and every time I go, I find myself on the fringe of the actual conference itself. One day I will go to something conference related, but I'm just kind of I'm there that week, kind of like, just feeding off the traffic that didn't get into the conference and wants to hang out with some cool people. And
Right.
I think we'll do, and by cool people I mean, who knows, maybe not cool at all, but us. And I think we'll do something that week. So yeah, we'll let the group know that'll be the next one, and we want to keep this going. I think similar to what Andre was saying, there's something about post COVID getting together in person that's like
That's
eating broccoli when
that's
you
an
haven't
addition.
had vegetables for a couple of years.
Yeah. Because I mean, the sense of excitement from everybody, it's like it is a movement, and there is this sense of excitement from everybody involved in this world. It's really startling. It's fantastic. Yeah,
100%, 100%.
100%. It's amazing.
No, you can't do 100%. You have to just clap, dude. That's
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Yeah,
You
I'm
just
speaking my emojis now because I
Yeah.
don't have visual representation for what I need to say. No, it's challenging. So
And
all right,
the other thing that I found at these parties, I find that people don't have attitude. I don't see attitude. I don't see any snobbery from anybody. I really find that everybody seems to be very embracing and nice and rounded, or whatever rounded means. But I really haven't seen any like attitude from people.
Welcome to crypto.
Yeah, man,
Exactly.
I agree. Even at Art Basel, which is like the most put your nose up and
Oi,
rent a fucking Lamborghini, like
totally.
Miami, like normally it probably would have been like, oh Jesus, look at these, this is ridiculous. But NFT people come in, it's like all of a sudden everyone's in like shorts and a hoodie, like fuck you, and just taking over. And I was so proud to be a part of
Yeah,
that
but people are
kind
smart.
of
They're
new
all smart,
crowd.
even wearing shorts and stuff. They're all smart. Everybody's
Oh God,
smart,
yeah, yeah.
but
This is not
there's not
about intelligence. It's just about
right.
like being like real. Like, no, I just dressed comfortably for this, or like I have this cool merch shirt
Right,
that I
down to
like. It's
earth,
not like
very down
they're
to
not wearing
earth.
like gowns and shit. Nobody
Right,
cares, you know.
right. So that's one of my biggest takeaways, actually, in my short time. I mean, this is going out there, in person. It's a very short time, but I find that generally in the rooms as well. But in person, that's really one of my big takeaways is how, is how down to earth people are without attitude. Because I've been in Hollywood and Los Angeles for a really long time now, and I think the art world in general, I think is just the worst. I think it's the most snobby of all the art establishments is the art world. So,
Totally.
the emperor's new clothes thing.
Well,
But
now we can just say fuck them because all the money is in NFT and digital art, and if they don't want to be here, then that's great. But good luck. Good luck.
yeah,
Like
right.
that industry is so difficult. So if you made it, great job. If you're not, like, come on over, check out this one. You know.
Exactly. Right on. Yep. So that's my bet.
I'm gonna have to be sure to wear a gown to the next Nomad event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like let's just flip it around, and just the next one is like the opposite. Everyone just only like gowns only. That's what it's going to be called.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I might wear sweatpants underneath it or something and some like Ugg boots, but yep, gowns will be the
Gowns.
theme.
I want to wear a golden gown. That's what I want.
Golden gowns.
Yeah, like a silken, like a long, flowy, silken golden gown. That's what I would.
Yeah.
That feels right, you know.
Yep, strapless. Yep.
Strapless totes, just cute, you know.
Very cute,
What about
glamorous, elegant.
like a monochrome, like a very subtle monochrome, like mink coat with like endangered species mink pants and shoes and just like something subtle, like
Oh.
you
Yo,
know what I mean?
so like even though I don't think a mink is an endangered species, I don't think, but like to make one of those coats, like a mink is a tiny, tiny little animal. You gotta slaughter like 100 of those motherfuckers to make a coat. Like, damn, that is some
So
ruthless shit.
what about just like a mink coat from just like the fur of a mink's ears? You know what I mean? So
Right, ears only, and so you got to
right.
kill like
By the
500 to make it. And no, by the way, no one's eaten mink. You know what I'm saying? That meat is garbage.
By the
Fucked
way,
up.
we do not condone the killing of defenseless animals. This is not financial advice.
But also at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. Like, do I want like a big ass fur coat? Yes. Like, should it be fake or real? Like, I don't know. I eat meat, so like maybe we can get it out of an animal where I can eat that shit. You know what I
And
mean?
also, even though like you're not trying to say like you want like, an endangered species coat, look, it
That'd be
does make
dope
it more
though.
rare, you know.
Yeah, that'd be dope, dude. Like just a bald eagle coat, you know what I'm saying? Like something that's government, it's like government protected. Like you can't even go near it or you're gonna get like arrested by like the FBI, like
Like
that
a
coat,
bald
you know?
eagle kind of feather type thing.
Yeah, like straight bald eagle coat. And it has like a hood that you throw up that has the head on it with the beak and shit and like feathers above it, like just a wicked ass. So you look kind of like a bald eagle. You know what I mean? Maybe the sleeves come out and it's got like the webbing underneath the arms, so you can be like, "Caw-caw!" Just do cool shit. You know, I don't know. I'm just
I think
spitballing
you're
here.
on something, Wes. I mean, I'm gonna be disappointed if I meet you. You're not wearing a bald eagle now.
Yeah, bald eagle coats, man, with wings. So it's like a wingsuit, bald eagle helmet coat. You know what I'm saying? But it's also federally protected only. So it has to be fresh. Like it can't just be like you found a dead bird, because that's not. Actually, I have no idea if that's illegal to fuck with a dead bald eagle, but this is minutia, dude. We're gonna get this. And this is the
So
NFT space right here. This is how it works. Crowdfunded Web3. So all of us together got to go out and find some bald eagles and get that shit. All right, Web3, baby. We're building.
I have to drop down, but Hero, will you promise me that you will steer this boat just
Into
into the
other
night in the
endangered
right
areas.
direction? I depend on you.
Now I feel like he's gonna
No.
let me just steer it. So I got this, Isabel. I promise it's gonna be a journey of ups and downs.
Yeah, Wes.
But at least it's not
Wes.
being recorded or anything. Like, we're good, you know?
So basically, I feel like there was a moment where like Wes said like I am the captain now, and I'm like just locked in some room in the bottom of the ship, and Wes is just like taking the wheel and just doing one of those things where you just like throw the wheel and it goes like in 360 degrees, and he's just laughing, and like it's a
Just doing
crazy
donuts
mess.
in the boat, and everyone's like, whoa, the glasses are breaking, and
Right.
things are sliding off tables, but I'm just like, woohoo! But like, look, it's all good. I'm just playing.
Wes, I'd love to get you and Overton in a room together, IRL. That's my plan for this year, man. That would be epic.
I think though, I would say, and I love that dude, and I want him to keep his uniqueness and his rawness about him. But I would say, when I'm saying all these things, it's like a bit, like this is not actually who I am, like that guy. I just like to play the out of control crazy guy, but it's a bit. Like, I'm just fucking around. Just know that. There's my disclaimer.
Got it. Okay, so wait. Mental note. The bald
So that
eagle
was for the
thing.
recording. Now we're
Okay.
good.
Okay. Here's the thing, YVR. Wes and Greg Overton, IRL in a room together, sounds like a blast, and also scares the shit out of me.
Like
So
jail time, dude. Jail time.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, actually, I'm going to call it for the evening. This was one of the best spaces and most enjoyable spaces I've had in many, many moons. Full moons, waning gibbuses, waxing gibbuses, crescents, all of the moons. I just want to say in like the most genuine way and heartfelt way that the people who are here in this room that made it to the party last week, for the people that weren't able to make it as well, but especially for the people that I got to meet in person for the first time, that literally has made the 24/7 grind, sweat, just all of the stuff that went into Nomad totally worth it. We'll never, ever forget that. And really, really appreciate everyone for showing up. And not just at the party, but for showing up the past 8 months and helping make this community what it is. I will do my best to keep it together when we make an announcement very soon about something we've been kind of working on for the past few months. And, I've said this before, I'll say it again, stay with us and have a great, great night. And good luck to Wes and Parin on their drop on Wednesday. And, let's all rally around them, give them some support. And then, we'll start announcing the next kind of couple of months of artists. So have a great night. Thanks for joining us. And we will talk very soon.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.